Rutgers and Navy open the college football season heading in opposite directions. The Scarlet Knights let their opening game against Duke slip through their hands, while the Midshipmen saddled the Mustangs, scoring a 33-2 victory at SMU. Now Rutgers tries to turn it around, while Navy attempts to sail along undefeated. To Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey. College football debuting here on the campus of the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Tonight, under cloudy skies, it's definitely football weather as the Scarlet Knights host the Navy Midshipmen in the home opener. Hi, everyone. I'm Pat Scanlon, along with Bob Cassiolo, the Executive Director of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. Well, Rutgers opening with a loss on the road at Duke. So, Bob, already just 2 games into the season, this is a must-win game for Doug Graber and company.
The word must is overused in college football and in football today, but truthfully, for this program, for this season, and for this coaching staff, this is truly a must game. They got to win. They got to win impressively tonight.
They face the Midshipmen of Navy. Navy 1-0 under new head coach Charlie Weatherby. Quarterback Chris McCoy is the key to this Midshipman offense. Last week against SMU in his debut, he rushed for 398 yards total offense, Bob.
McCoy is a kid who played defense last year, played defensive back, ran the scout team, and was the option quarterback. He was an option quarterback in high school, and so picking up here is nothing for him. He's a fine athlete, and he proved last week against SMU just how effective he can be in this offense. He is really an outstanding option quarterback.
You talk about this offense, it's called the wing bone. It's a combination of the triple option and the run and shoot offense, and it really tests the defense, Bob.
As you look at it right away, they have 4 receivers, 2 receivers to each side, which means they're going to take a cornerback and maybe a safety here, perhaps an outside linebacker and another cornerback here. There's 4 people removed immediately. From this, they can throw the football, but they want to run it. The key guy is the fullback, running up in here off the option, which is the belly series. The quarterback can keep it as the second potential ball carrier, or he can pitch it on the corner to the trail back. 3 guys either side, or he can come out and just sprint on the corner and make it a wide open passing attack and put a lot of pressure with those 4 receivers.
Well, it certainly is a very interesting, tough offense to handle, and Rutgers really has its hands full. Speaking of offense, what about the Scarlet Knights? They're 0-1. Everyone was saying how good the offense was going to be, led by quarterback Ray Lucas, but they really struggled against Duke last week.
Lucas has to take control. He's a senior. There's no reason. If this offense is going to click, it's got to be Ray Lucas in charge. He's got all the ammunition to do it. He's got the experience. He's been in pressure situations. There's the difference. If Ray Lucas can click tonight, Rutgers can have a great evening.
One of the weapons that Lucas and company possess is the running back, one of the best in the country. Junior Terrell Willis, who had 140 yards against Duke last week. Bob, they've got to feature him, and he can take care of business.
Although they run out of a one-back offense and spread the field with receivers, they want to run the football, and this is the guy that's going to carry it. Terrell Willis is one of the premier running backs in the country. Tonight, they've got to establish him early. That could be the difference. Terrell Willis running the football tonight.
All right, so it's Rutgers and Navy coming up. The home opener for the Scarlet Knights, a good crowd on hand. We expect a very competitive battle. This NJN Big East production is made possible by Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, MetLife and its MetLife representatives, the Rutgers Touchdown Club, supporting Rutgers football 12 months a year, and by Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola bottlers.
What makes New Jersey unique? It's our diversity. Diversity in our history, our geography, and our people.
You'll find this diversity all over New Jersey, from big cities to small towns, from suburban communities to places rich with history, from farmlands down to the shore.
Wherever you live in New Jersey, there's one thing you can count on. NJN is there.
Each week, over 1 million households throughout the state tune into NJN for its quality public television and educational services. Television is a powerful communications medium that's in all our homes. It shapes the way we see the world. Our goal is to enhance the quality of life in New Jersey with programming that informs, educates, and entertains.
No other network serves New Jersey like NJN. That's why NJN is here.
Welcome back to Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey. I'm Pat Scanlon along with Bob Cassiola. The Scarlet Knights have taken the field here at home for the first time this fall as they host the Midshipmen of Navy. And let's take a look at some keys for Charlie Weatherby's club tonight, Bob, as they come in at 1-0 and looking to spring perhaps a second straight upset.
As you look at Charlie Weatherby, they've got to control the ball. They control the ball by running the option. They have a great quarterback and a young man who stepped to the plate last week against SMU and Chris McCoy. They have to, on defense, contain Terrell Willis. Willis is the big gun, the premier running back in the East and perhaps one of the premier running backs in the country. They've got to contain Willis, and they've got to put pressure on the quarterback. We know what that quarterback can do, and that is Ray Lucas. And they've got to pressure Lucas to try and get him out of his rhythm so that they can control the passing game ultimately.
Doug Graber entering his 6th season here with the Scarlet Knights. And Bob, what about the keys for Graber's club?
Well, it's very obvious what they have to do. They got to play with enthusiasm and consistency, and that consistency is don't put the football on the ground. They fumble the ball so many times, too many errors. They got to establish the run, and they will with Terrell Willis. They have the big gun to do it, and look for Lucas to take control. If he takes control of this offense tonight, they could have a great evening, believe me.
Well, Navy won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Jason Covarrubias will kick off. The sophomore from Buena Park, California. Back to receive for Rutgers. The tandem of Terrell Willis, number 31, and number 3 is Cameron Chadwick.
It's a very interesting decision early on. Give Rutgers the football early and take their chances in hopes that they'll get the football on the opening kickoff in the second half.
You know, Bob, for the Rutgers offense, one of the keys has to be being efficient and controlling the ball, because that triple option attack of Navy can eat clock on you. Covarrubias. And we are underway. Fielded by Willis at the 5. Behind a wall of blockers, Terrell Willis across the 25, out to the 29-yard line. Tackled by Travis Cooley of Navy. And so now here comes quarterback Ray Lucas, 6'3", 210, a senior from Harrison, New Jersey. Had off-season shoulder surgery. Missed the spring practice, but is 100%. 22 career starts for Lucas. And the Knights will operate from the I formation. Ezra Johnson and Willis, the running backs. Hand it off to Willis. He cuts left. Tries the left side. Fernando Harris, the Navy middle linebacker, makes the stop after Willis picks up a gain of about 3 yards. Let's set the Rutgers offense for you. Up front, Pat Gorman is at center. Pete Donnelly gets a start for the injured Chris Kennedy. The backs and receivers. Marco Battaglia, perhaps the best tight end in the country, and Terrell Willis in the backfield for the Scarlet Knights as they face a 2nd and 5. Willis again, penetration on the left side, and that is a tackle by Tom Poulter. He drops Lucas behind the line, Bob.
They came with the blitz right away. Number 41, Poulter, got in, breaking inside. He was covered on the outside by a linebacker, as you look at him there.
The Navy defense, Tom Poulter playing at the right end. Andy Person, number 57, the leading returning tackler. The secondary for the Midshipmen, Joe Speed, an outstanding 3-year starter. They'll play a nickel defense throughout the contest. Now Lucas on 3rd and 8 from the shotgun. Shovel pass to Marco Battaglia. Navy reads it and shuts down the Scarlet Knights. Chad Holzapfel and Fernando Harris combined to stop Battaglia.
Very interesting series. Rutgers having good field position, really moves the ball about 4 yards. Navy very quick, a lot of movement in their line of scrimmage. They play 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. This first series, they look very quick, and they've stopped Rutgers and forced them to punt.
Jared Slovin, the sophomore from Tucson, Arizona, gets it away. Fielded on the 27. Good play by Navy's Matt Squinavacci. Flag on the play, so hold everything. And Cameron Chadwick downfield to make the tackle. Let's listen in to Gil Gelbke.
Flipping on the return.
Some of the midshipmen who would have had pretty good field position to start at the 32-yard line will back up toward their own goal line.
Flipping on the return. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That will back it up to the Navy 17-yard line. And here comes quarterback Chris McCoy, the sophomore. 5'10", 186 pounds, who set a school rushing record by halftime last week against SMU. Omar Nelson is the fullback. McCoy looking downfield. It was intended for Ross Scott. It went through his hands, coverage by Mike Sandy, but Scott, if he was able to haul it in, had a big completion.
Scott just ran a fly pattern. They just tried to test him deep and push those cornerbacks off, which makes them better for when they start to run the option. Here he is, just coming out to his left side and putting the ball up here. And you're going to see number 80. He's got to step on the defender right there. He just does not hold on to it. Nice touch by the quarterback.
2nd and 10 for Chris McCoy. Here's the handoff to the fullback, Omar Nelson, the junior from Silver Spring, Maryland. Nelson gets across the 20-yard line.
Stopped by Brian Sheridan.
Brian Sheridan and Rusty Swartz on the tackle. Let's check that midshipman offense as they have a 3rd and 6 coming up. Jeff Smith, Garrett Smith, the tackles. At the guards, rather. Backs and receivers. Nelson, a key at fullback. Squinavacci, a veteran wide receiver, on 3rd and 6. McCoy with time, now flush in the pocket. Throws it downfield for Corey Shem. It's complete to the slot back. Into Rutgers territory. First down, Navy.
That tells you what mobility can do for you. The quarterback has it. That's McCoy. He came out of there. He was put pressure on here. He sprinted out to his left side. Now he goes back to the right side. He looks like he's going to run, which forces people to come up, and he just dumps it off. And that's the talent, and that's what Doug Graber was so impressed with when he saw the films of his team, and why Rutgers has to be very alert, be very disciplined against this attack.
33-yard gain for Corey Sham. Now 1st and 10 from the 45. The keep by quarterback Chris McCoy. He tests the middle for a couple of yards. Rasan Giddings, that linebacker for the Scarlet Knights, makes the stop along with Rudy Smith, number 56. Let's take a look at that Scarlet Knight defense. Smith, Guarnera, Swinger, and Swartz up front for veterans. The linebackers led by Brian Sheridan. Cameron Chadwick, Mark Washington, banged up in practice this week, and Gil Ross has assumed his spot. They keep it on the ground and get it down to the 40-yard line as Chris McCoy operates on the keeper. And Bob, they're moving the chains, keeping the clock rolling.
That's what they intend to do. They want to move those chains. It's right. They want to keep possession, want to get field position. The fullback is the key here, the single back, and that's Omar Nelson, number 5. He's got to make yardage for this attack to go. On the first 2 series here, we've seen him fake to the fullback and keep the ball and just follow the fullback looking for some room. Rutgers held up pretty well.
Butts is split wide to the right. Lascanos to the left. They'll hand off to number 80. That is Ross Scott. And the Scarlet Knights make a stop on third down. Rusty Schwartz with the tackle. But, Bob, this triple option offense is really a four-down offense.
Absolutely. They have a lot of confidence that they can make it. As you look here, they got 3 receivers to the left side. They bring number 80 back. That's Scott trying to run him inside on an inside counter play. Rutgers holds him off pretty well and is going to force him into a fourth-down punting situation.
Brian Schrum back to punt for the Midshipmen. A senior from Malone, Wisconsin. Funderburk will let this one bounce into the end zone for the touchback. So with 10:13 to play here in the first quarter, we'll take a break. Charlie Weatherby and the Midshipmen and Doug Graber's Scarlet Knights are scoreless.
This is a New Jersey Business Update with George Tabor.
A company in Eatontown hopes to ride the fax boom to success around the world. Expedite is the name of the company. It does mass faxing for companies. Whenever a company puts out a press release, for example, that goes to 30 people, it is both more efficient and cheaper to have someone send out a mass fax than it is to have someone put 30 separate faxes through a machine. While Expedite is doing well, it was not always like this. The company was stumbling a few years back. The top management came to the conclusion that they simply did not have enough salespeople out in the field. Then things started to take off. You can have the greatest product, but you still have to sell it. If you build a better mousetrap, the world will not beat a path to your door. You have to sell the product. For the New Jersey Network, I'm George Tabor, editor of Business News, New Jersey.
And we welcome you back. Rutgers in Navy scoreless here in the first quarter. Rutgers taking over at their own 20-yard line. Ray Lucas at quarterback. He'll pitch to Terrell Willis, and he'll try the left side. Met there by Gerby Alota, the sophomore from Spring Valley, California. And Bob, it's an interesting defense. It's a 4-2 look with really a nickelback secondary.
They do a lot of angling with their down 4 linemen, and they blitz a lot. And Rutgers did something that was very smart. They just got the ball in the hands of Willis on the corner. Don't fool around with all that stuff inside trying to block those angling linemen or blitzing linebackers. Get him on the corner where he's one-on-one with a back, and he'll make yardage. That time he picked up 5.
They'll send Stephen Harper wide to the right. Funderburk at the top of the screen. Presley is in for Rutgers, his first appearance this year. Lucas to keep. First down and more across the 35, down to the 37-yard line before he was ridden out by Fernando Harris of Navy.
Good inside fake. That time they faked the counter. Lucas came out on almost like a bootleg action. He had the receiver, but he had the yardage for the first down. Here's the experience of Ray Lucas. The fake inside. Everybody goes with Terrell Willis. He just holds the ball and gets to the sticks for the first down.
Gain of 12 yards by quarterback Ray Lucas. Last week, Lucas rushing 9 times for 30 yards. Now Rutgers operating with a one-back set. 2 tight ends in the ballgame. Hand off to Bruce Presley. And Presley, who missed last week with a high ankle sprain, picks up yardage across the 40 to the 41 before Clint Bruce makes the stop. Presley with a gain of 4, and it's good to see Presley back into the offense.
They're going to use him sparingly, but they want to get him back into the contact. That time he came in, a good change of pace, a very tough inside runner. And again, this is what they want to do. They want to come up with good second and third down situations. They picked up 5. They're right on schedule.
Ezra Johnson back in along with Willis. Harper in motion. Lucas, plenty of time. Threw it behind the intended receiver, Stephen Harper, with Clint Bruce there for coverage.
Good job of protecting that time for quarterback Ray Lucas. If the Rutgers line can give him that much time as this game progresses, he'll pick out those open receivers.
Ray Lucas, who has thrown 29 career touchdown passes for Doug Graber and company. Scott Ernie, number 1 in the Scarlet Knight record book, having tossed 41 touchdown passes. 3rd down and 6. Double receivers left. Lucas will roll that way. Had to get rid of it. complete to Funderburk, who has the first down. Reggie Funderburk from Ray Lucas, and it was good to get Funderburk involved in the offense early, Bob.
They were coming after him. They were blitzing him, and Funderburk went down and ran a curl pattern, got enough for his first down. And watch this on the top of the screen. Here they come after him. You're going to see them come from the outside. They're blitzing from the backside with the safety. Good delivery by the quarterback. Funderburk getting the first down yardage. That's an experienced receiver. That's what you got to have. You got to have Reggie Funderburk in this offense to make Rutgers go.
Now with a one-back set, Scarlet Knights in the Navy territory. Hand off to Willis. Willis left side, plenty of room. Gets a block downfield from Reggie Funderburk, but Robert Green was able to fight it off and knock Willis out of bounds, but not before he got a first down.
Great job on the left side by Jack McKiernan, and Matt Brown blocking on the left side, giving him a chance to cut it back. Watch this. He's going to hand the ball back. He's going to break it back away from the screen, off the left side, and pick up another first down. Good balance in the attack, opening it up with the pass, and everywhere you go, Navy defensively has to be aware of the tailback, particularly when it's Terrell Willis.
Chris Hutton is in along with Bill Powell. They're split to the right. Hand off to Willis. They'll try the left side again. Terrell Willis out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And he had a lot of help. Robert Barr pulled along the way and directed Terrell Willis as he picked up good yardage.
Navy very quick, goes with the football. There you look at the yardage of Terrell Willis as he ranks rushing in the Big East.
Number 2 last year behind Billy West of Pitt. Bruce Presley was ranked 9th. So far for Willis, 5 carries for 28 yards. And Rutgers now looking at 2nd and 2. Bob, do you waste one here?
You could, very well, right here.
They'll hand off to Willis. He won't waste it. Terrell Willis down to the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Rutgers!
That's exactly what you wanted. You wanted to be able to run the football. We said it early on. Watch the blocking up front. Good job by number 51, Pat Gorman, the center. He steers the nose guard and gives Terrell Willis a chance to get into the secondary. And this is what they wanted, to get him running the football. Big yardage and a very important early score for Rutgers.
Nick Mickemeyer tacks on the point after try. Terrell Willis, a 25-yard touchdown run. Mickemeyer the point after, and the Scarlet Knights lead 7-0.
Watch number 63. There's Matt Brown, the offensive left guard. He comes through on the linebacker, number 32. Steers him back to the inside, and as the cut is made right there, they're going with Willis on the first fake. I mentioned earlier that Navy is quick and they go with flow. They're not big, and consequently they overflowed that time. Against a back like Willis, you can't do it.
We'll take a break. Scarlet Knights lead Navy 7-0.
There are a variety of diverse communities all over New Jersey, each with its own unique blend of people and traditions. But we're all part of the New Jersey community, and connecting people from one end of the state to the other is a challenge.
At NJN, we do just that.
For a quarter of a century, NJN is focused on our state, its people and places, its history and culture, and the everyday events of New Jersey life. We inform, we entertain, and we enrich, serving over 1 million households with quality programming for New Jersey, about New Jersey, and by New Jersey. We offer educational services in the schools and out in the community, and we provide a link that touches every corner of the state.
NJN is here to help. Serving the New Jersey community is our mission, a challenge we take on every day.
Rutgers working on some schemes with 8:35 left here in the first quarter. Scarlet Knights enjoying a 7-0 lead. Offensive line coach Mark Deal and Marco Battaglia, the fine Scarlet Knight tight end. Here's Joe Kukowski, the senior from Trenton. out of North Burlington High School. Back deep, Matt Squinavacci for Navy at the 3-yard line. And Kikowski's kickoff try will go out of bounds.
Nothing frustrates a coach more, and I can tell you right now, Doug Graber, to come in and score and then all of a sudden kick the ball
out of bounds, untouched on the kicking team.
And give the guys a chance to come back with better field position.
Well, maybe Thursday night at 6:30 on NJN. Doug Graber will be talking about that situation.
Out of bounds, untouched.
We invite you to join us each Thursday night. And then after this Thursday night, we'll move to 8 o'clock. Right here on NJN, the New Jersey channel, as I get a chance to talk Rutgers football with the Scarlet Knight head coach, Doug Graber. Now the midshipmen will take over at the 35-yard line off the Kikowski kickoff that went out of bounds.
We saw a couple of interesting things by Navy offensively. Normally they come up with 2 receivers to each side, a slot back and a wide receiver to right, and a slot back and a wide receiver to the left. That time they came out early with 3 receivers to one side to open up the passing game.
Well, let's see what sophomore quarterback Chris McCoy can muster here. 1st and 10 from the 35. He'll drop back. Looking downfield for Astor Heaven. It is incomplete. Derek Ward providing coverage in the secondary for Rutgers.
He was looking to the front side first as he sprinted a little bit to the right. He was looking for number 80, Ross Scott. He was covered. When he looked back, he didn't really have anything on the football and threw it behind the receiver.
Charlie Weatherby, a 1977 Oklahoma State graduate. Coached at Utah State before coming to the Naval Academy. 2nd and 10. Omar Nelson, the fullback, runs the dive play. He rumbles forward for about 4 yards. Guarnera and Swinger, the interior of the Rutgers defensive line, make the stop.
Nelson had 20 carries last week, 1 score against SMU. To make this option go, this running attack, he has to be a key operator. He's got to carry the football with success.
They'll call it 3rd and 7. McCoy screens off to his fullback Nelson. He stumbles, gets back to the 40-yard line, but it won't be enough for a first down. Brian Sheridan was there, along with Rusty Schwartz, the junior from Edison.
Good job, Rutgers, defensively. You got to be disciplined against this kind of an offense. They had 3 guys out there in front of that screen. Excellent job by 59 right there, the linebacker. Excuse me, the outside linebacker, Rusty Schwartz.
Schwartz getting a chance to move up front this year. Navy forced to punt. Schrum gets it away. It's a good punt. Funderburg handles it on the 15-yard line. Funderburg still on his feet, stumbles forward out to the 24-yard line. Well, Reggie Funderburg got the wake-up call and struggled against the Blue Devils last week, but has made his presence felt. With 7:15 left here in the first quarter, Rutgers takes over, leading 7-0.
Hello, I'm Ricardo Kahn, co-founder and artistic director of the Crossroads Theater Company in New Brunswick. As one of the nation's leading African-American theater companies, we balance artistic goals with a strong commitment to our community. I see the same balance in such NJN programming as State of the Arts, Discover New Jersey, Town Meetings, and NJN News. As you watch and enjoy this station, I encourage you to make a commitment of membership. Please, join NJN, the New Jersey channel.
Produced with Crossroads Theater Company and the New Jersey Theater Group, the Association of New Jersey's professional theaters.
Rutgers coach Doug Graber. Seeing his Scarlet Knights get on the scoreboard first, leading Navy 7-0. As the offense takes over, 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. Ezra Johnson at the fullback, Willis the tailback. They'll pitch to Willis, and Willis gets a couple and pays the price. Gervialota up from the secondary to make the stop.
Not easy running in there when you got 4 guys and 5 defenders coming up on the corners, 2 inside linebackers. They're really playing you real tight to the football, so they've got to get them off the football. They got to get a little wider and get on the corner.
Chris Hutton is split wide to the left. Stephen Harper to the bottom of the screen on 2nd and 8. They throw to Bruce Presley. Presley. First down, Rutgers, down to the 35-yard line. Robert Green made the tackle, but Presley and Willis were featured in the backfield together, Bob.
Yes, sir, and that time they slipped Presley from the halfback position. See him come across from the fullback position, slipped him into the flat, and the linebacker vacated that area by blitzing, so he was wide open. Beautiful read, well done, and he got the first down.
Presley on the sidelines. You notice, Bob, that he's wearing some high-top shoes after suffering that high ankle sprain in preseason practice. 1st and 10. Johnson comes back in at the fullback spot after a 9-yard completion. Willis left side. Spun around, a tackle by Navy's Keith Galloway, number 37.
We said coming in here, Rutgers had to do two things. They had to take care of the football. They had to be consistent, and they had to be able to run the football. Thus far in this first quarter, they've run the football effectively. They can do that consistently tonight, protect the football. They're going to have a good time of it.
Pick up 3 yards on 1st down. And bring 3 wide receivers into the game. And a flag thrown from the flank as Hutton, Harper, and Funderburk were deployed. Dead
Who was
ball,
moving?
Unsportsmanlike on the offense.
I don't know what the call is.
Unless one of the receivers flanked out here to the right-hand side where the flag was thrown was guilty. Or perhaps a comment, I don't know, Bob. But it was thrown in front of Harper and Hutton. Oh, now Rutgers facing 2nd and 12. Handoff Willis straight up the middle. Spins ahead. Andy Person, the senior from Havertown, Pennsylvania, on the tackle. He's their leading returning tackler and a 2-time All-National Independent Association player. Last week, 5 tackles, 2 sacks for Person. Now Rutgers, 3rd and 7. Harper in motion. Lucas across the middle. First down, Marco Battaglia, the senior from Queens, New York, and a preseason consensus All-America.
Great job of good balance in the offense. They've been going to the corners. They've been going to the side, throwing the football. That time they took Battaglia from the tight end position. Watch as you look here, the left of your screen. See him come down, number 81, and he just finds himself between those 2 inside linebackers, and Lucas threads the needle, gets him the football, and he gets the first down. Excellent execution, and Battaglia just finding the open spot.
Well, you're right, Bobby worked his way between Fernando Harris and Clint Bruce. Now Lucas hands off to Willis. Willis picks up 1, maybe 2. And Clint Bruce, the junior from Garland, Texas, the inside linebacker for the Midshipmen, in on the tackle, but they'll say that Willis's knee was down.
And Fernando Harris made the stop.
3:48 left here in the first quarter. Rutgers offense has been able to move the ball, and so far the Rutgers defense has had the answer for the wishbone attack of the Charlie Weatherby and the Midshipmen. Weatherby, former Oklahoma State quarterback, as Presley and Willis are in the backfield again. From the shotgun, Lucas, straight drop with time. Now he's flush from the pocket. Chased out of bounds. Clint Bruce was in the backfield chasing him, and J.D. McBride finished him off.
Not a good-looking series that time. They came out in the shotgun, and he really didn't have the receivers open. Navy covered well, but also you saw their quickness there. They would not let him get to the sideline and make any yardage. He did well to keep the football, not throw it up for grabs, and now come down to a 3rd down and 15 situation.
After that loss of 4 yards on the play. Hutton and Harper split to the right. Vanderberg at the top of the screen. They keep Battaglia in as a blocker. Lucas with time has Hutton. Hutton has to go to his knees to make the reception at the Navy 45-yard line. He'll be 3 yards shy of a first down.
That was the best they could do. Pretty good deep coverage. 2 deep coverage, 5 under by Navy. That means they wouldn't let you get deep. They were defending the deep side of the field. Consequently, they came to the outlet passer. He picked up enough yardage. This punt could put Rutgers in very good field position.
Jared Slovin on to punt. And Matt Squinavacci signals for the fair catch at the 12-yard line. Squinavacci, a senior from Reading, Pennsylvania, had the 4th best season of a Navy receiver ever last year. 22 catches for 440 yards.
In the early series thus far, Rutgers defensively has not permitted Navy to occupy time and make series go. They've stopped them and forced them to punt. They've got them deep in their own territory. Let's see what they can do now.
Evan is split to the left, Squinavacci to the right. They'll hand off to the fullback, Omar Nelson.
Omar Nelson carried.
Nelson, who had his first career touchdown against the Mustangs of SMU, Jim Guarnera and Brian Sheridan.
It's the kind of offense it is. You look up and it looks like he just took a couple of yards with him, and then you look up and it's 2nd down and 6. So he picked up 4 yards and he's right on schedule as far as this offense is concerned.
Will Smith, number 17, is in at one slot back position along with Patrick McGrew, number 34. This is Smith in motion. McCoy keeps and is hit on the corner by number 19, Gil Ross, and Ross stayed at home that time. I've been talking to linebacker Brian Sheridan earlier this week. He said everyone has assignments, and you have to make your assignment every play on the player you're assigned to.
You got to be disciplined against this offense. So here he is. There's the ride to the fullback. He keeps it. He comes on the corner. You're going to see that Ross come up, number 19, from the safety position to make the hit.
3rd and 2. The keep by Chris McCoy.
McCoy carried.
And that's going to be close.
Working over his right guard, Jeff Smith. The center is Brian Drexler out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And both of them got enough yardage for him to make the first down.
Well, the Navy band across the way, a little anchors away. Some of the Corps of Cadets to our right. 1st and 10. Double receivers to the right for the midshipmen. Smith in motion. McCoy hands off to the fullback, Nelson. He gets out to the 25-yard line, picks up a couple on first down.
Why they have to make that play go is they want those linebackers, those down linemen, starting to close on the fullback, and sooner or later you're going to see McCoy pull it out, come out on the corner himself, or either pitch it to the back coming from the wing position. They've got to establish the big back inside, and that's number 5, Omar Nelson.
And so there's your time left here in the first quarter. The midshipmen of the Naval Academy will let time expire here in the first quarter. Charlie Weatherby and company will have 2nd and 7 when we return. That's the end of one quarter. Rutgers leading Navy 7-0.
New Jerseyans always pitch in and help one another through difficult times. The tradition dates back to colonial days. Hi, this is Governor Christy Whitman. Mandatory water restrictions have been imposed in many areas, but voluntary conservation efforts must continue. A kitchen or bathroom faucet can waste 1 to 2 gallons per minute, so shut the water off while brushing your teeth or shaving. Wash full loads of clothing or dishes. Fix any leaking faucets. And please, don't toss cigarettes out of your car. Be persistent with your own conservation efforts every day. Thank you.
Telecourses worked great for me because of my situation, because of my physical limitations.
When they finally said to me, well, we don't see how you can go to school, I said, oh, but I do. And that's when I decided that telecourses was probably the best way for me to get back into school and maybe even get my total degree in it.
Finish your degree? Of course you can. And you don't even have to leave home. Call 609-777-5075 to find out how.
Welcome back, second quarter. Navy and Rutgers. Scarlet Knights lead 7-0. Pat Scanlon and Bob Casciola here on NJN, the New Jersey channel. 2nd and 7 for Chris McCoy and the midshipmen of Navy. Smith in motion. McCoy wants to pass. Flush from the pocket. Spins away. McCoy into the Rutgers secondary and runs out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Cameron Chadwick ran him out of bounds, but not before he picked up 21 yards.
He's excellent. He was in trouble. They put pressure on him. They had him bottled in. He broke a tackle. Watch him here. He comes out to the left side. They had a tight end in the ball game that time. Watch him break the tackle there. And now he's on his own in the open field. He broke one Harris tackle, a defensive tackle, and now he's on the corner with speed, picks up big yardage, gets the ball up close to the 50-yard line.
That's the thing about this offense, Bob, that offensive coordinator Paul Johnson said you're one mistake away from a big play. If the defense makes a mistake, you can break it. Here's McCoy pitching now to Corey Shem. Shem left side. First down, Navy. And a flag thrown. Flag on the play as Gil Ross tackled Shem. Could be a face mask, could be a personal foul. We'll await.
That's why we talk about being disciplined and being in position. You're going to see here as you listen to the official.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense.
Watch it here. But what happened more than anything is Rutgers permitted them to get on the corner. He keeps the ball. He pitches. Number 2, the strong safety, Harris Crawford, was too far inside and permitted him to get on the corner with the run. And there he grabs him with the right hand. Looks like he got a piece of the face mask along the way. You can't fall asleep out there. You've got areas of responsibility. If you get suckered in the wrong position, they're going to make those kind of gains against you.
Well, it winds up a 13-yard rush, 15 yards on the penalty. 1st and 10 for Navy from the Rutgers 25-yard line. Shem goes in motion. McCoy keeps. The first option was the fullback, then McCoy choosing to work his way down the line as we take a look at first quarter stats.
Pretty impressive with Rutgers on the ground, 75 yards rushing. Good balance in their offense. And no mistakes, no turnovers. That's the key. But Navy's on a roll right now. Rutgers staying at home that time as the quarterback, McCoy, tried to keep the football and turn up inside. He picked up 2 yards.
Shem in motion. They'll pitch to Corey Shem. He gets on the corner. And Gil Ross, the freshman from Montclair, makes the tackle again. He's been very active from the free safety position.
But the cornerback, the man responsible for the pitch man, that time was on the ground. Number 3, Cameron Chadwick, was blocked on the corner. And that you can't do. They're going to get you on the corner every time. You've got to get up. You've got to be able to take on that responsibility. But they're so quick, and the execution is so very good that they make you miss a lot.
3rd and 1. McCoy will keep. Oh, did he take a lick from Brian Sheridan? But he picked up the first down. There's Brian Sheridan, the junior from Union High School, Union, New Jersey. Played for one of the great high school coaches in the state, Lou Rattino.
Watch him come up and level him from the middle linebacker position. Right there. You can't do it any better. Yes, he did. He played in one of the great programs in the state as well as in the country. Union has always been tremendous under Lou Rattino. Tremendous person.
Want to give Lou Rattino our best wishes. He's undergoing chemotherapy treatment while coaching this football season in high school, and best wishes to Lou. McCoy now hands off to the fullback, Omar Nelson. They keep the Rutgers defensive line honest, and Nelson picks up 2 or 3 yards on the play. Rudy Smith, a senior from Stony Point, New York, one of those in on the tackle. Smith playing at that right defensive end spot. Key for Smith is staying healthy this year. 2nd and 9. Smith in motion. They'll pitch to Will Smith. And Derek Ward came up from his cornerback position and made a nice play.
Great execution. That's the way you got to play it. You hope you can get up there in position. Derek Ward not only got up in position, but he made the tackle in the open field. Very well done. You got to be impressed by Chris McCoy. There's Derek Ward, the junior out of Swedesboro. McCoy is very quick, and he runs this option beautifully.
McCoy keeps and is dropped for a loss. Big play by Charles Woolridge, the converted tight end.
That's the play they love. That's the play he burned SMU with. He was trying to run a quarterback draw where he takes 2 steps back like he's going to drop back the pass and then go right up the gut. But that time he had nowhere to go. Great tackle, as you described it.
The sophomore from Riverdale, Maryland.
There it is. There's the step. See, he's looking to go inside. There's nothing inside. He thinks he can break it outside. And 87 steps up and makes the play. Big, big play by the Rutgers defense.
Now a 31-yard field goal attempt by Jason Covarrubias. No good. The kick is no good, so wide left. Covarrubias, his first field goal miss of the season. And the Scarlet Knights dodge a bullet after Chris McCoy got the midshipmen into Rutgers territory. We'll take a break and return to Rutgers Stadium right after this. The Scarlet Knights leading 7-0.
They say it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. So PSE&G helps companies conserve energy, protect the environment, locate new sites, and find business opportunities. The goal is to strengthen companies in New Jersey and attract new ones. At PSE&G, the most important power is the power to make a difference.
PSE&G, a proud supporter of NJN.
Family secrets. They can bring us together. They can tear us apart.
And when our families are filled with no talk and secrecy, we simply can't grow and be free and become the people we were meant to be.
John Bradshaw has helped millions create healthy, loving new lives. For everyone who's lived in a family, watch John Bradshaw on Family Secrets.
Today at 1, right here on NJN, the New Jersey channel.
1st and 10 from the 20 for Rutgers. They'll hand off to Terrell Willis. And Willis works his way out for a gain of 7 yards on 1st down. Robert Green, a junior from Atlanta, Georgia, coming up to stop Willis. But Bob, they certainly have established Willis in the ground game.
They're running here the counter play. You're going to watch this. This is a tray counter. See the tackles pull around and the guard to get out in front of him as he starts up. This is the famous play that started with the Washington Redskins. Everybody in pro football and college football runs it. When you got a back like Terrell Willis, you really take advantage of it. You pick up 8 yards.
Got a good look at Pete Donnelly, 76, a redshirt freshman from Hackensack, leading the play. Hand off to Willis again. Willis, it's a foot race. Terrell Willis. Willis to the 10, the 5, touchdown Rutgers. 73 yards for Terrell Willis.
You got to look at this again because Navy is going to blitz up on the corner. You're going to see the safety come up and blitz on the corner. Now when Willis breaks the line of scrimmage, good blocking up front. He fakes out number 6. Now he's split the 2 cornerbacks. And it's just a foot race as you described it, and they're not going to catch him. What a performance by this big guy tonight. This is what they've needed.
Terrell Willis already over the century mark in rushing, 141 yards. Nick Mickemeier's point after try is good. 10:24 left to play here in the second quarter. Terrell Willis has a pair of touchdowns. Rutgers leads 14-0.
We'll look at it again from behind the defense. Willis is coming up. Good block on the right side by the right tackle. That's Big Barr. Robert Barr made the block. There's where he beats the cornerback, and now he's in the middle of the field. 2 guys trying to close on him, but there's too much distance and too much speed. Number 31 there. Good judgment on the part of number 6, Reggie Funderburk, not to make the block. And now Rutgers is up by 2 touchdowns.
All right, we'll take a break and return to Rutgers Stadium. Doug Graber, the Scarlet Knights, up 14-0.
Wherever you are in New Jersey, NJN is there. Our partners are there too. People, communities, and organizations all over our state play a vital role in helping us serve the people of New Jersey.
Together with our partners, NJN makes a difference.
We're the link that touches every corner of New Jersey, bringing the best of public television to every citizen of the state. We're the only broadcast network that provides quality programming for New Jersey, about New Jersey, and by New Jersey. We're the ticket to arts and culture that everyone can afford. And we're the University of Lifelong Learning, offering the educational programming and technology that will take New Jersey students into the next century. In so many ways, NJN is making a difference. Our mission is to serve New Jersey, and thanks to you, we do, every day.
That's why we salute all our partners, because you make the difference.
A lot of time left in this one, and Terrell Willis, the hero, has moved into second place on the Rutgers career rushing list. He needed 87 yards to pass Glenn Keller. Move into second place. He has done so. He has 141 so far, and more importantly, has put 14 points on the board for Rutgers. Here's Joe Kukowski to kick off. Fielded on the 9-yard line. Ross Scott, he is tripped up. A good play by Aaron Brady, who tripped up Scott. Scott had a little bit of room in front of him. Terrell Willis, first team all Big East. Bob, those are very impressive numbers in the early stages of this game.
We said early, you're coming into this game, you got to establish that guy running the football, and they've done that early on, and everything else opens up once that occurs.
Howard Bryant, number 15, is in for Navy at one of the slot back positions. He goes in motion. They'll pitch to Bryant. Bryant tries the left side, and there's the freshman again from Montclair, Gil Ross, coming up to make the tackle out of Immaculate Conception High School.
Much better job that time by the strong safety, Harris Crawford, number 2, who comes in, takes the blockers down, and gives the cornerback a chance, Ross, to come up and make the hit. Norris Crawford out of Hialeah, Florida.
Still, it was Bryant picking up 5 yards on the play. McCoy pitches to Bryant. He'll throw it downfield. Complete to Matt Squinavaci. Squinavaci got behind Cameron Chadwick for a 40-yard pass reception.
This is great execution. No other way to look at it. Here they come out, fake to the fullback, pitch it back. He holds up here. He pulls up and he throws a beautiful pass right on the money. Never loses a step. That's perfect execution. Again, number 3, Chadwick, caught up inside looking for the run. That's what they do to you.
Howard Bryant, a junior out of Atlanta, Georgia, had played backup strong safety last year. McCoy keeps. McCoy to the 10. Ran into his own man, Will Smith, and now flags fly as he got down in the vicinity of the Rutgers 5-yard line.
They've been going away from the fullback. Good strong fake to Nelson. They cut off on the blocking on the corner and give the quarterback a chance to keep it. That time he showed his open field running ability.
Aiding the runner on the offense.
Aiding the runner on the offense.
It's like somebody getting behind and giving him a little shove and pushing him along the way, or getting a hand on his back.
Aiding the runner, 5-yard penalty on the offense. Still first down.
Well, Charlie Weatherby won't like that call.
Let's see if we can pick it up. There's the fake to the fullback, number 5, Nelson. He comes right on the corner. Good block on the corner by McGrew, the wingback. There he is. Now watch and see. Oh, he's pulling him. That's what he's doing. He grabbed his quarterback and number 17 and pulled him forward. That was Will Smith, one of the slot backs.
1st and 10 from the Rutgers 11. Here's the pitch to Patrick McGrew. McGrew fights his way down to the Rutgers 4-yard line. McGrew had a couple of touchdowns against SMU last week. One rushing, one receiving.
For execution, they're coming on the outside with the quarterback and the trail back or the pitch man. And that time it was McGrew to the right side before Cameron Chadwick tried to come up. He got a little bit belted on that play. But there's McGrew, 5'11", 225.
Patrick McGrew was the Midshipmen's second leading rusher in 1994 with 171 yards and 5 touchdowns. Cameron Chadwick is shaking up on the play, the junior from Union High School, transferring to Rutgers from Nassau Community College. According to defensive coordinator John Gutekunst, Chadwick gives Rutgers that physical cornerback they're looking for at 5'10" and 190 pounds.
He is bigger than some of the quarterbacks they've had here in recent years. This offense, as we said, puts a lot of pressure on you at 3 different points of attack. With the fullback inside, the quarterback as he keeps it, and on the perimeter. And now Navy is starting to be successful running the football on the pitch.
Oh, good to see Chadwick up under his own power. And that will get number 10, Kevin Williams, into the ball game, a sophomore from Mulberry, Florida. Williams saw action in 11 games as a freshman last year. 2nd and 3. So Navy can still get a first down without scoring. McCoy on the keep. In for the touchdown. Chris McCoy of Navy. A good block by Bryce Mittemeyer, and Chris McCoy goes in for the touchdown. And these guys will get to work on their push-ups as Jason Covarrubias comes on for the extra point. It's up, it's good. With 8:15 to play in the second quarter, Navy pulls within 7 at 14-7. We'll take a break and return right after this.
This is NJN, the New Jersey Channel. WNJB, New Brunswick.
Navy gets on the board with a Chris McCoy touchdown.
Watch this play as he comes out of here. He reverses out, fakes to the fullback. Number 63 pulls around for him. That's Garrett Smith, the guard. He gets downfield. He's so quick and strong that he just pulls his way into the end zone. Notice, too, the blockers come out low. They get down on those defensive linemen, get their hands down. By the time they play off those blocks, McCoy's in the end zone.
Terrell Willis and Chad Bosch, number 25, back to receive for Rutgers. Jason Covarrubias to kick off for the Midshipmen.
They're offside.
Bosch on the 7-yard line. Chad Bosch gets out to the 25 for Rutgers. Don't forget, we'll have Virginia Tech and Rutgers coming your way on October 21st at 9 a.m. here on NJN. We hope you'll join us that Sunday morning as we continue coverage of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights here in 1995. Doug Grabert having a little bit of talk there with Charles Woolridge, who missed the tackle on McCoy. Here's Terrell Willis on the left side. Gets to the 22-yard line. Drop for a loss. Robert Green coming up from the secondary spot to make the tackle.
That time the defense is ready now. They're coming after him. And they got right up in the line of scrimmage. They brought those defensive backs up, and you'll see him on the corner here. As they come down with the ball, he's trying to break it outside. They got penetration in the backfield. Never gave him a chance to make his cut.
All right, 2nd and 12 after they lost to Presley and Willis. In the backfield for the Scarlet Knights, Lucas will roll to his left. Shovel pass ahead to Bruce Presley. Oh, baby, that one could have been picked off as Joe Speed of Navy was the closest receiver to the Lucas shovel pass.
That was the same play he ran before. That's like running a bootleg action and slipping the fullback into the flat. He's hit Presley off of that. That time he makes the choice. Now watch Presley. 44 comes out. And here he is now. He's either going to deliver it, so he decides to throw it up to him. Presley's looking to come back and block for the quarterback. Just a mix-up between the quarterback there and the receiver. But they're in a 3rd down and 10-11 situation.
Bruce Presley stays in. He is the one back. Lucas from the shotgun. Looking across the middle. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Reggie Funderburg. And so Rutgers will be forced to punt.
He was open. He just delivered the ball real low on him. Never gave him a chance to come back and catch it. That's a poor series for Rutgers. Navy comes down, gets a score. 3 downs, they're out. They're going to punt. Try to get field position. Giving them an opportunity to get back into this football game.
Jared Slovin is back to punt for Rutgers. Matt Squinavaci. Makes the catch at the 39-yard line of Navy, so they'll have excellent field position. Squinavaci didn't signal fair catch. He feels it. That's where Navy will take over. We'll take a break with 7:16 to play in the 2nd quarter. Rutgers 14, Navy 7.
Oh, yes. You see, the game is find something and everything to be glad about.
But I can't see anything to be glad about getting a pair of crutches when you wanted a doll.
Oh, there is. I couldn't see it either at first, Nancy. Father had to tell me.
Well, suppose you tell me.
Just to be glad you don't need them. The crutches. You see, it's easy when you know how.
Discover the carefree world of Pollyanna tonight at 7:30 here on NJN, the New Jersey Channel.
For one night, John Tesh is the entertainment. An electrifying event, an awe-inspiring setting, and a musical tribute to some of the world's greatest athletes, like Nadia Comaneci and Bart Conner. Don't miss John Tesh live at Red Rocks with the Colorado Symphony Orchestra.
Don't miss it, Monday night at 8, right here on NJN, the New Jersey Channel.
Now, Rutgers head coach Doug Graber knew that the Scarlet Knight defense would have their hands full against this wing-bone attack of Navy, and he talked with us about it.
You know, I have to admit that I was very happy when Army was off our schedule. We didn't have to face the wishbone any longer, and now the Navy makes a coaching change, and we're going to face really basically the same offense, different formations.
All right, so those are the comments of Doug Graber as Navy takes over 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Triple receivers. If you count Shem, now Shem will go in motion from the slot back spot. McCoy hands off to the fullback Omar Nelson, and Nelson, as he has done so many times already tonight, gains 5 on 1st down before Rusty Swartz, the junior from Edison, makes the tackle.
It's very tough because they've been hitting the ball outside with the quarterback keeping or pitching. Now they come back to the fullback. You forget about him. He picks up 5 yards.
Now Heaven and Squinavaci split wide to the right. Shem in motion. McCoy keeps. Gets into Rutgers territory at the 49-yard line. 1st down for the Midshipmen.
See, it's not only him keeping the football, it's him making you miss, and that's why he's so good and such a terrific athlete. He got out there. Number 19, Ross, the free safety, who's playing as a freshman here tonight, came up, had good position on, missed the tackle. You got the 1st down. They depend on you missing the football or missing the quarterback or the runners in this offense, and when you do, it's going to turn out to be a big game.
Interesting at this point in total yards, Rutgers and Navy are dead even with 198 total yards offense. Timeout, Navy.
It's a lot of pressure for number 19, for a freshman to come into this game and have to play against this kind of an attack. And the reason he's playing is there's been injuries at that position.
Mark Washington, defensive leader and senior from Temple Hills, Maryland, bruised the thigh in practice this week. So there's Chris McCoy now talking to the coaches upstairs. McCoy, for the most part, after gaining 253 yards against SMU in the first half last week, has been held in check by the Scarlet Knight defense.
He's talking with Paul Johnson, the offensive coordinator. Johnson has a real great track record. He came from the University of Hawaii. They were one of the top scoring teams in the country for the last 6 seasons. Top 20 in total offense for 6 seasons. Johnson's got a great background in this offense, and he's had a lot to do with the early success of Navy this season.
And here's what lies ahead for Rutgers. If they're to have some success, they'll have to play well tonight. Then Penn State next Saturday night at Giant Stadium. Then they'll have Syracuse back here in Piscataway, and then the heart of that Big East schedule begins. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. McCoy hands off. Omar Nelson with a first down, picks up 5 more yards on first down. And boy, that really helps when you can pick up 5 on first down and keep things moving, keep the clock going.
This is their style now. They're getting back into their rhythm. Rutgers kept them off guard early on, but now they've got their offense clicking. Got a very balanced attack, and Rutgers is going to have to make a big play here on defense. You can't just let them come at you, pick up 4 or 5 yards every clip.
McCoy hands off to the fullback. That time they find a way to stop Nelson close to the line of scrimmage. Jim Guarnera along with number 59, that's Rusty Swartz.
Rusty Swartz has been an outstanding prospect here at Rutgers. His problem is staying healthy. If he can stay healthy, he'll battle it, and he's a good player.
Jim Guarnera also getting a chance to move inside to defensive tackle from defensive end last year. 3rd and 5. McCoy will roll right. Complete to Scornavaci. He spins away from the Rutgers secondary. That's Scornavaci to the 5, tackled inside the 5-yard line, down to the Rutgers 2. Derek Ward made the play, but the Corps midshipmen across the way cheers a 43-yard pass completion.
3rd down and crucial. He comes to the veteran. The veteran is Scornavaci, a senior out of Reading, Pennsylvania. And here he finds him right in the middle. He throws him back. He comes back on the curl, picks it up, now looks for the open field, and he can motor. 5'10", 189 pounds, had 1 reception last week. That's the big reception of the night so far for me.
1st and goal from the Rutgers 3-yard line. McCoy, after faking the handoff to the fullback Nelson, gets the midshipman closer, and there's a flag thrown from the pile well after the whistle had blown.
I think the penalty's going to go against Rutgers, unfortunately.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Scarlet Knight defense. Here's a look from our end zone camera.
Let's keep looking. Where is it?
It looked like a push, we believe, but tough to say in the middle of that defensive scrum. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. McCoy will keep himself. Burrows forward. Let's see. No signal from the officials. There they have it. Touchdown, Navy. Chris McCoy, his 2nd touchdown, and a Rutgers player is shaken up on the play. I believe it is, well, let me see, it was either Guarnera or Swinger. It is Jim Guarnera. He
just follows his center right there. That's Rexler, Brian Rexler, the sophomore, 5'10", 250. Ducks into the seam. Notice how they split the line, give themselves good splits in that line, spread that defense, and a guy of his ability, his quickness, makes the score. He's for real. People wondered who Chris McCoy was a week ago, but we've seen enough of him to tell you he's an outstanding athlete. It's going to be a very exciting time for this Navy team if they can keep him healthy.
Last year, a defensive back on the plebe JV team, as we look at Jim Guarnera being attended to. They're working on the left leg. Chris McCoy. Last week in the first half, he had rushes of 69 and 70 yards against that SMU defense. And boy, did that shock the Cotton Bowl. Now awaiting the point after try. Bob, you know, it's interesting, this wing-bone offense that Charlie Weatherby brought to the Naval Academy with him. Offensive coordinator Paul Johnson brought it with him. He had run it at Hawaii the past few years. Before that, Johnson and his offense was at Georgia Southern, where they won 2 national championships.
You got to remember, too, that Weatherby played against Johnson's teams, so he was very impressive trying to defend it. And he did a good job of bringing him with him, and it's paid off for him. And there's an excitement attached to it. Players like it. They're utilizing their talents, and it's something new. And maybe over recent years with some tough losses and tough scheduling, he's now in a position to say, hey, there's a new season, new coach, and hopefully a new period of football for him.
And with that extra point by Jason Covarrubias, we've got a new game on our hands with 4:17 left to play here in the second quarter. Rutgers and Navy tied 14-14. We'll take a break and return. You're watching college football on NJN, the New Jersey channel.
This is Arts Ticket, brought to you by the New Jersey State Council on the Arts. The Broadway smash and Tony Award winner, Crazy for You, will be performed at the Glassboro Center for the Arts as part of its national tour. Don't miss your chance to see this crowd-pleasing favorite. For over 3 decades, singing sensation Tom Jones has been charming audiences of all ages with his charismatic voice. Hear him at the John Harms Center on September 27th. Who done it? See if you can solve the murder in The Mousetrap, Agatha Christie's classic mystery play. It opens at the George Street Playhouse on September 23rd. Plus, take the kids to see some outstanding illustrations that were created for children's books. Story readings and tours are also available with this exhibit. Arts Ticket is made possible by a grant from the New Jersey State Council on the Arts.
Charlie Weatherby seeing his midshipmen come back to tie the Scarlet Knights. The Rutgers had jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Doug Graber and company will need some offensive execution. Jason Covarrubias kicks off. Fielded by Cameron Chadwick, and he is stunned at the 16-yard line. Rashad Smith sent a message.
Let me tell you, a message is usually delivered by your specialty teams. When you get hits like that, it picks up everybody else. Watch this hit as you see number 10 come down through this wall, breaks it, and hits him full speed. He did well to keep his hands in possession of that football.
And if I'm Cameron Chadwick, I asked number 88, Jason Curry, where was my block on that play? He went right by you. All right, 4:13 left in the second quarter. Rutgers from the I formation taking over on their own 17-yard line. Lucas hands off to Willis, and Willis is dropped for a loss. The midshipman defense stiffens. Sean Smith, the junior from Eastleigh, South Carolina.
And you see the tempo change. The defense is up. The specialty teams are into the game. And right now, Navy's in control. Rutgers has got to get themselves moving. And not having success going inside Navy on early downs. The last 2 series have come with 4 or 5 people and squeezed off the inside.
Ezra Johnson and Willis are the running backs. Funderburk is split to the left for Rutgers. Lucas looking that way for Funderburk. Complete at the 36-yard line. First down, Rutgers, as Funderburk beat Ramon Vasquez for a 20-yard completion.
Excellent pattern by Funderburk. He breaks it to the outside, and a great pass by that guy, number 1, Lucas, as he delivers the football. Good play fake inside, hold the linebackers. Here's the pass. Watch him stretch himself out to make this catch. Can't do it any better. That's what they need. Big, big down for Rutgers.
Reggie Funderburk, a junior from Mitchellville, Maryland. Second last year in Big East receptions. Willis, number 1 in Big East rushing last year. Gets down to the 44-yard line. Gain of about 7 on first down. Gervie Alota and Tom Poulter on the play for Navy.
Notice the toss here to get him a little bit wider, get him away from the middle where they're crowding him, and let him cut back or get on the outside. Good block out there by number 77. I think it was right tackle Robert Barr, and gives him a chance to turn it up and pick up 8 yards.
Bill Powell now in wide receiver to the top of the screen. Lucas, straight drop. Feeling the pressure, shovel pass to Ezra Johnson. They get the first down, but it's a bit of an adventure, Bob.
It was a bit of an adventure, but that's what you're going to get from Ray Lucas. He sort of improvises along the way. He did it that time. Number 48 picked the ball up. Watch Johnson here. He's in trouble. He's looking upfield. Second down and short. Good call. Looking to get more yardage, perhaps thinking maybe he's going to play the run. But to Johnson's credit, he's thinking about going outside as we look at it from another angle. And we see him here as he steps up. Here's Johnson standing right there. Gets him the football, and he turns upfield at least to get the first down.
First down, Lucas out of the shotgun. Battaglia downfield. Complete to Marco Battaglia. Bob, he's a tight end, but he runs like a wide receiver, and Battaglia hauls it in Navy territory. Gain of 24.
They caught Navy in a 2-deep defense. They had everybody up on the line of scrimmage looking for the run to stop Willis, and that time they took the tight end and broke him to the outside, and he broke outside the safety man, and a great catch and another fine toss by Lucas, and a great catch by Battaglia. 2 big plays here, and Rutgers is threatening.
Funderburk split to the right. Harper and Hutton to the left. The lone running back is Terrell Willis. They'll hand off to Willis, and Willis fights his way ahead. Brought down by Tom Poulter, but Willis able to pick up 3 or 4 yards on first down. The clock now becoming a factor here in the second quarter. 1:35 and ticking.
Into the game comes Dan Latour, a senior tight end for Rutgers. They may go with a 2 tight end offense in here with Battaglia and Latour.
2nd and 6. Funderburk and Harper wide to the left for Rutgers. Double tight end offense, as you mentioned, Bob. Lucas from the shotgun. Looking for Harper. Incomplete. Good coverage. Step for step was Keith Galloway. And Stephen Harper was out of bounds at one point anyway as he tried to come back onto the field of play to make the reception.
That time they came with 2 tight ends, but they really had one thing in mind. They wanted to try and sucker up the cornerbacks and get Harper, who's got the speed. Harper's the deep threat out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. But that time he received excellent coverage from Galloway. And the big senior, weak safety, was with him step for step.
1:06 left. That stopped the clock. 3rd and 6. Hutton and Harper to the left. Funderburk to the right. Now Reggie Funderburk comes in motion. Lucas across the middle to Funderburk. Reggie Funderburk down to the 10-yard line. First down, Rutgers.
Got to play with the clock now. And they have to utilize their timeouts. They've got 3 timeouts to play with here.
Timeout, Rutgers. As we take another look at the reception.
Very good play. They spread the field here. They get in the shotgun. They drive the tight end, Battaglia downfield, and bring Funderburk underneath him. And he knows where those sticks are. He gets upfield to get the first down. The ball sitting right on the 10-yard line. Here it is from ground level. And you're going to see again, Lucas patient, waits for him to come open. Nice delivery. Get upfield, get the first down.
A 13-yard reception. Lucas to Funderburk. Bob, I like the fact that with 1:01 left, even though the clock stopped to move the chains on first down, that Rutgers called timeout to set the next 2 or 3 plays they're going to utilize with just over a minute left in the half.
Very, very good call. And what's important here for Rutgers is to get a score, go in at halftime, come down the field like this after Navy's put on 2 very impressive drives, and get some points at halftime before they go in.
And you know, Doug Graber is involved. He's got the headset on. He's probably speaking with offensive coordinator Stan Parrish up in the booth.
They really got to get in the end zone to make a first down or get a score here. The ball's sitting right on the 10. This first down call is very important to him, very critical to him, with a minute, just a minute and 1 second remaining on the clock.
Charlie Weatherby hoping his defense can angle and slant and stop the Knights. Double tight end set. And now we've got the officials to the top of the screen conferring with Gil Gelpke. Wide receivers for Rutgers in are Funderburk, Hutton.
You got to bring him back in the huddle now. Redo it again, whether he changes the formation or not.
And not sure why they're doing that, but it gave Weatherby and the Navy defense a look at the play. They'll come out, same formation, double tight end set. One back is Willis. And they'll hand off to Willis. Terrell Willis. Flag on the play as he steps out at the Navy 6-yard line. Joe Speed, the senior from Maryland, up on the play. Let's await the call.
It's going to be an interesting call. It could be going against the Rutgers team.
On the offense.
They threw it in the area of number 76, Pete Donnelly, the redshirt freshman who's starting at right guard tonight for Chris Kennedy. That's a tough call.
Here's Marco Battaglia working.
Good block on number 41, the defensive end, Poulter for Navy. He drives him all the way down. Here comes 76 out, and that's the hold right there. He's got 21. The defensive back, Robert Green, wrapped around him, and they caught him for it. So that's a bad call. They get it back, and they push it all the way back past the on the 16-yard line. You got first and goal to go from the 16.
55 seconds left. Funderburk, Harper, Hutton, the receivers. Lucas rolling right. Completes it to Chris Hutton, the 6'5 sophomore from Burlington.
Great execution. Drove number 12, wide receiver Steve Harper, deep into the end zone and opened it up for Hutton to break it off at the 5-yard line underneath him and to pick up a good 10 yards on the play. So they're right back in action. It's 2nd down and 5.
And he also stepped out of bounds to stop the clock with 50 seconds remaining. Gain of 11 for Rutgers. Lucas to Chris Hutton. Lucas right now 10 of 14 for 120 yards. Funderburk and Stephen Harper wide to the left. Rutgers going with their double tight end set. Lucas rolling left, has a notion, keeps it himself down to the 3-yard line, and Rutgers has to spend another timeout. Andy Thompson and Fernando Harris made the play for Navy. Rutgers stops the clock with 42 seconds remaining. While we have a timeout on the field, we'll take a break as well. 14-14 Navy. Rutgers knocking on the door.
He was the great tenor with the golden voice, Mario Lanza. He chose the big screen instead of the opera house. Did it lead to his tragic and mysterious death? Join host Placido Domingo for a look at the fame and the pain of Mario Lanza, the American Caruso.
Tonight at 8 here on NJN, the New Jersey Channel.
We believe that in this enormously competitive environment in the media communication world, certainly in the state of New Jersey, NJN provides excellent coverage, both in terms of public affairs, general news, and entertainment. And I believe that citizens of New Jersey, corporations such as ours, ought to endorse the excellent work done by NJN.
Pat Scanlon, Bob Cassiola. Navy and Rutgers tied 14 apiece. Bob, what might Rutgers do in this situation?
Well, one of the things you do when you get into the goal line, you start looking for your tight end, who many times has to be covered by a linebacker. But Tagley is not a tight end. He's exceptional. They may be looking for him here.
They've got two fullbacks in, Johnson and Seeger, along with Willis. Lucas throws a timing pattern. Into the corner, incomplete. It was intended for Chris Hutton, and he may have been shaken up on the play. Sean Andrews with outstanding coverage, and there's Navy linebacker Clint Bruce attending to Chris Hutton.
Well, it was a good try. They just ran a pattern into the corner, to the corner of the end zone, just broke him to the outside and looked to the old fade pattern, and he had position on him, but he had to carry it over his head, and the defender was coming up and hit him just as he made the catch. You'll see it from this angle, and watch as he just drops back. You're looking from behind the safety man here. He just puts this ball up on the corner, throws the fade into the corner. There's Hutton. There's the catch. As he's trying to pull the ball down, he's getting hit by the defender.
And look at the knee bend, the left knee bend as he came down, reaching into the sky for the ball, Bob. Oh. Tough play for Chris Hutton, the 6'5", 200-pound sophomore from Burlington. His size and height makes it an attractive receiver to Rutgers around the goal line.
That penalty they incurred on first down when the ball was sitting on the 10-yard line that pushed them back is going to force them here, because they couldn't make up enough yardage to try and go for 3 instead of a touchdown before the half.
Well, there you see the Rutgers medical staff attending to the left leg of Chris Hutton. And as you can see, as he came down on the ground, the left knee buckled. Don't forget, coming up this Thursday night here on NJN, it's the Doug Graber Show. We'll look for you at 6:30 this Thursday night. And then next week, the following week, on September 28th, we'll be moving to 8 o'clock. So the Doug Graber Show this week at 6:30, then moving to 8 o'clock here on NJN. And you know, Doug Graber can't be too happy about losing sophomore receiver Chris Hutton.
He's a big receiver at 6'5", 200 out of Burlington, New Jersey. It's too bad because he's a fine prospect. Big target besides.
With 38 seconds left in the second quarter, we'll take a break. Rutgers and Navy even at 14 apiece.
Family secrets. They can bring us together. They can tear us apart.
And when our families are filled with no talk and secrecy, we simply can't grow and be free and become the people we were meant to be.
John Bradshaw has helped millions create healthy, loving new lives. For everyone who's lived in a family, watch John Bradshaw on Family Secrets.
Today at 1, right here on NJN, the New Jersey Channel.
Welcome back to Rutgers Stadium. Sophomore Chris Hutton has been helped off the field, suffering an injury as he went up in the air for a possible touchdown reception. Nick Mickemeyer is now on to attempt a 21-yard field goal here in the final moments of the second quarter. Mickemeyer's field goal try is good. So Nick Mickemeyer out of the hold of Robert Higgins, the backup quarterback. And the Scarlet Knights take a 17-14 lead. But Bob, it has been a very emotional moment here at Rutgers Stadium as Hutton suffered what looked like a broken leg, and the crowd has been hushed and watching for at least 4 or 5 minutes.
It's a very tough injury for this young sophomore out of Burlington, New Jersey. It's a tough injury for Rutgers because they're going to miss him. He's a key receiver and a key part of their offense. But most importantly, you just hope it's not that bad for. He's only a sophomore. 6'5", 200. He's a very fine prospect, and I just hate to see those things happen.
All right, so now with 35 seconds left, Rutgers will be sending Joe Kukowski onto the field to kick off. Ray Lucas discussing things with number 3 quarterback Ralph Sacca. Lucas had the timing pattern to Hutt. And now Doug Graber.
Graber saw a 14-0 lead evaporate as Navy came back, executed beautifully, got the option rolling, and now they're in a dogfight, which often happens when you play teams like this. You end up who scores the most points or who has the football the last time.
Kukowski squibs it along the ground, fielded at the 30-yard line by number 32. That's Andy Thompson, a defensive back, and Thompson returns the ball in the vicinity of the 40-yard line. So the midshipmen, with 30 seconds remaining, take over close to midfield. Good crowd on hand here at Rutgers Stadium as well, and this is the home opener. And I'll tell you what, they didn't think that Navy would be as tough an opponent as the version of the midshipmen team that has come to town, led by quarterback Chris McCoy. Now whistles.
Usually when it comes from back, the back officials, it's usually a time factor, so it might have been too much time.
Substitution violation on the defense.
Oh.
They have 12 men on the field.
Well, that is...
that's one way to stop it.
Yes, that's one way to stop it. Number 57 comes off for Rutgers. That's Rashawn
Dead
Giddings.
ball substitution violation on the defense, a 5-yard penalty. Will the clock operator reset the clock to 30 seconds?
All right, so now they will not be able to snap the ball until the clock is reset. It reads 29. Now it's back to 30 seconds.
They probably wanted to get Giddings, an outside linebacker, out of the game for another defensive back, which they have.
That's right, Mike Sandy is in. Morris Crawford's in. Navy with 2 timeouts remaining. McCoy back to pass. And is sacked. Jim Guarnera back in the ball game. He was shaken up earlier. He makes the play with 20 seconds now and counting. And Navy squandered some time. Now they take time out with 17 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Well, you got to admire Navy. Navy comes in here, the ball's sitting on the 40-yard line. They want to put the ball up, get some yardage, and maybe have a shot if they can't get a score, but at least getting a shot at a field goal. Here you see him as he pulls up. He's looking to throw back. See, he sprints to the left, looking to throw back to the right. He's going to go deep. But 93, Guarnera beats the block, comes down on top of him, and at 6'5", 265, he puts the quarterback down.
Chris Hutton being taken to Robert Wood Johnson Hospital with a broken left fibula, we're told by the Rutgers Sports Information staff. A very unfortunate injury for the sophomore from Burlington. Hopefully Hutton will be all right. 2nd and 8 now for Navy. Scornavaci split wide to the right. Evan at the top of the screen. McCoy wide open. Matt Scornavaci in Rutgers territory, tackled at the 45-yard line by Thomas Kelly, a sophomore defensive back from Atlantic City.
Navy has 1 timeout remaining. 10 seconds on the clock. I guess they want to try to get a little closer.
McCoy grounds the ball, stops the clock with 7 seconds remaining. 7 seconds remaining from the Rutgers 44-yard line. Well, quarterback Ray Lucas, Bob, he was one of our keys at the top of the telecast, and Lucas has been able to get the Rutgers offense on track at times, scoring 14, make it 17 first quarter points.
They just have to be confident, come back in the second half. Things are working for them. If you recall, Navy elected to kick off, so they're going to get the ball in the opening of the third quarter, but they've got 7 seconds left here. See if they can get the ball upfield a little closer to maybe kick a field goal.
Heaven to the left. Scornavaci to the right. McCoy looking for Matt Scornavaci. He makes the completion and steps out of bounds at the 29-yard line with 2 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Here they go.
Well, let's see now.
Very good execution, Pat. Very good execution by this Navy team to get the ball up the field, give them a chance to kick a field goal.
Well, let's see now how Jason Covarrubias handles what looks to be a 47-yard field goal attempt. Out of the hold of Brian Schrum, the punter. It's good. We're tied 17-17 as the first half comes to an end. Jason Covarrubias gets the congratulations of his midshipman teammates. And as we go to halftime, the midshipmen go into the locker room with some momentum, tying the Scarlet Knights 17-17.
That's exactly it. Rutgers had the advantage. They kicked the field goal. They came down the field. They permitted Navy with a minute on the clock to get down there, get field position, and kick a field goal to tie them. So the momentum changes. They get the football opening the third quarter. Here it is, as you can see it. You got enough of a leg on it. It's a low line drive, but it starts to carry. Sort of looks like your forward here, Pat, coming out and just about gets over there as it does. Ties the score at 17-all.
A 47-yard field goal. We'll take a break. We're at halftime. Rutgers and Navy tied 17-17. You're watching Big East football on NJN, the New Jersey channel.
Oh, yes. You see, the game is find something and everything to be glad about.
But I can't see anything to be glad about getting a pair of crutches when you wanted a doll.
Oh, there is. I couldn't see it either at first, Nancy. Father had to tell me.
Well, suppose you tell me.
Just to be glad you don't need them. The crutches. It is easy when you know how.
Discover the carefree world of Pollyanna tonight at 7:30 here on NJN, the New Jersey channel.
Trying to have a life and going to college full-time is rough, but if you could do it as telecourses, it would be marvelous.
I was not in college for socialization. I was there to get my degree and to get through the quickest, most convenient way possible, and telecourses made that possible for me.
Finish your degree? Of course you can, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 609-777-5075 to find out how.
And we are at halftime. Rutgers and Navy tied at 17 apiece. I'm Pat Scanlon along with Bob Cassiola, and what has been an outstanding first half of football. Very emotional for Navy as they nailed a field goal to run off the field at the half. Tied 17 apiece. And Bob, the first half stats, an interesting story, very even in most departments.
Very even, and a surprising stat is here has Navy really started to throw the football a little bit in that second quarter, which got them upfield. But one of the most important things, especially for Rutgers coming in this game, was they were so mistake-prone and made so many turnovers last year. The fact that they don't have any turnovers in this game is important for them. But you're in a dogfight now. Navy's got their confidence level back. Offensively, they're moving the football, so it's just a matter of this second half who doesn't have a turnover, make mistakes, and if they can break up the series.
All right, let's take a look at some first half highlights. And if you look at the Rutgers side of the ball, the standout was Terrell Willis here, a 25-yard touchdown.
Great blocking up front on the left side by Brown and McKiernan and Gorman the center, but what a great run by Willis. They established him early. Here he is, breaking it off, breaking to the outside, gets a good block by number 76, Pete Donnelly, the freshman. He gets in the open field. He splits the safeties, and it's just a foot race. And this big, strong back who had a great first half goes in for the score. They're up 14-0, and they're looking very good.
72-yard touchdown by Willis, but Navy comes back. Quarterback McCoy to Matt Skornavacci, setting up their second touchdown.
Skornavacci, a senior, a veteran, very good in the open field. Really caught two key passes in that first half to get him in close, and now the quarterback behind that line that splits the Rutgers defense just sneaks in for the second score, which tied it at 14-all.
Skornavacci, 4 receptions for 111 yards. So Charlie Weatherby and the midshipmen of Navy have tied the Scarlet Knights as we get ready for the second half of play. This NJN Big East production is made possible in part by Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. By MetLife and its MetLife representatives. By the Rutgers Touchdown Club, supporting Rutgers football 12 months a year. And by Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola bottlers. We'll be back with second half action. The players are coming onto the field. We'll be back right after this.
This is a New Jersey Business Update with George Tabor.
A company in Eatontown hopes to ride the fax boom to success around the world. Expedite is the name of the company. It does mass faxing for companies. Whenever a company puts out a press release, for example, that goes to 30 people, it is both more efficient and cheaper to have someone send out a mass fax than it is to have someone put 30 separate faxes through a machine. While Expedite is doing well, it was not always like this. The company was stumbling a few years back. The top management came to the conclusion that they simply did not have enough salespeople out in the field. Then things started to take off. You can have the greatest product, but you still have to sell it. If you build a better mousetrap, the world will not beat a path to your door. You have to sell the product. For the New Jersey Network, I'm George Tabor, editor of Business News, New Jersey.
And we welcome you back to Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey. I'm Pat Scanlon along with Bob Casciola. Rutgers and Navy tied 17 apiece as we begin the third quarter. Doug Graber and the Scarlet Knights really have to regroup after Navy was able to tie the game on a field goal, and now they'll get their defense tested from the outset as Joe Kikowski is ready to kick off for the Scarlet Knights. And back to receive, the deep man is Matt Skornavacci. He fields it from the Navy 3-yard line. Skornavacci hit at the 17-yard line. Big stop on special teams by Rusty Swartz, number 59.
Look at these stats in your quarterback comparisons as you look at Chris McCoy. 5 out of 8 completions for 106 yards. Ray Lucas, very fine the first half. 10 out of 15 for 120 yards. Both very poised and did a good job. And as you look at him running the football, you see McCoy. 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ray Lucas, of course, not looking to run that much this year. 3 attempts for 11 yards.
And here's Chris McCoy, the sophomore quarterback, running the wing bone attack. McCoy tries the left side. He'll keep and get about 4 yards on first down. Stopped by middle linebacker Brian Sheridan and defensive end Rusty Swartz. Will Smith is getting a start at the slot back position in the second half, number 17.
The slot backs are important in this offense. They're asked not only to carry the football, but also to block on the corner. And they do an exceptional job, particularly number 34, Patrick McGrew, who weighs in at 225 pounds.
McCoy gets hammered behind the line. Rudy Smith getting penetration and make the stop.
That time they're changing up a little bit. They're not sitting back and trying to read. They brought Rudy Smith from the defensive end position right down the line and hit the quarterback before he had a chance to make up his mind whether he wanted to keep it or pitch it. Those are the chances you got to take. You can't sit back and let these guys block you and come down with the options. You got to try and force the situation.
Halftime correction for John Gutekunst, maybe, Bob?
Yes, sir. I think that's exactly what we saw in those 2 series.
Omar Nelson, the one back. McCoy rolling to his right. Incomplete, but flags on the play. The intended receiver was LeBron Butts. Cameron Chadwick was there along with Gil Ross.
It's a very close call. He got his hands on the football, but he might have gotten his offhand on the back. And there's an ex-defensive backfield coach right there, head coach.
Pass interference on the defense.
Doug Graber. That's a tough call because it gives him a first down.
The headset came off, the hat came off as soon as the flag hit the ground. Navy will now move to the 32-yard line with a first down.
That's an aggressive mistake by Rutgers, but a good one. Even though they got him for the penalty, he made a great play on it. You've got to feel that you've got to play that way against guys like this tonight in order to win.
In fact, John Gutekunst said that with the reading involved in this defense for the Scarlet Knights and reading the offense of the Navy Midshipmen, you want to make aggressive mistakes and maintain that aggressiveness. This is Will Smith, and Smith gets out to the 35-yard line. Gil Ross, the freshman from Montclair, plotting the play.
Makes very impressive. I mentioned him earlier, number 19, Gil Ross, coming up in the open field and making that kind of a hit. They need that, and he got it that time.
We talk about being young on defense. Rutgers opened the game with 2 freshman starters. And then in the reserve spots, 8 freshmen and sophomore backups. So a lot of young talent on that Scarlet Knight defense. 2nd down and 7. Boy, hands off to the fullback, Omar Nelson. He is stopped at the line of scrimmage. There's
Excellent.
Sheridan and Smith.
Rudy Smith again. Played very well last week against Duke. As long as he can stay healthy, he too can be a very active player. The senior at 6'5", 250. He comes out of Stony Point, New York.
Smith, who transferred to Rutgers from Maryland, has been bothered by some neck problems throughout his collegiate career. Big play here at 3rd and 5. They hand off to the fullback, Omar Nelson. He is very close before Rasan Giddings, the senior from Montreal, Canada, makes the tackle. And this may require a measurement, Bob.
What they do is they really change the splits in their offensive line, and they stretch your defense to where they get enough of a seam when they slip that ball to the fullback. He just needs somebody to get in front of somebody else, and then he lets them run. And that time they ran off the left side. They like to go behind Garrett Smith, the senior, co-captain of this team, and also the left tackle, number 72, Bryce Minnemeyer.
1st down, Navy. High about the length of the football. So the fullback, Paul Johnson, the offensive coordinator, said we need a good night out of Omar Nelson. He makes the entire offense click. And he has done so, picking up a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. McCoy looking downfield for Shem. Incomplete. It went off the right hand of Corey Shem. Defensive coverage by Mike Sandy.
But good pressure on the quarterback as he set up the throw. He did not have much time. He had to release the football. As you watch this from the end zone, watch the left side of your screen as you see number 7, the quarterback McCoy, come out off the play fake right here. Little fullback fakey as he comes back. He gets pressure in his face. Here comes number 86. That's Chris Sabula, the outside linebacker, enough, but he had to release it a little early.
And he had both Gil Ross and Mike Sandy beat. And here's the play now. McCoy down to the 45-yard line. Brian Sheridan tripped him up.
Rutgers now making them work for their plays in the running attack. They're picking up yardage, but they're working for it. So we've got another 3rd down situation.
As you look at Brian Sheridan, played as a true freshman. Tonight, the 23rd game of his Rutgers career. He's only a junior. 3rd down and 6 for the Midshipmen. McGrew in motion, flags on the play. A couple of Rutgers defenders jumped before the snap. Let's see if they made contact.
I think this is going to go against...
A dead ball, illegal contact on the defense.
You got it.
You think it was going to go on the defense,
exactly,
right? Yeah.
Because they got him on the call. And that's a tough call. That's got to be in the cadence of the quarterback. They've got to watch the football. There's no reason for a defensive lineman to jump if he's looking in on that football. The cadence got him to go offside. Give credit probably to the quarterback that time, Chris McCoy. And this makes for an entirely different situation. In this situation here, he's either going to keep it himself or give it to his big fullback.
3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 7. McCoy will keep. I don't know if he got a Rusty Schwartz coming from the other side, pulled him back.
That was a great play by Rusty Schwartz. 43 again. Brian Sheridan coming from the middle linebacker position. Watch the top of the screen. See how low they come off? Watch Schwartz close down. He comes back from the backside and makes the hit. But remember, if it's short, this team is not afraid to go for it on 4th down.
Rusty Schwartz injured. 3 years back in a motorcycle accident, has come back to be a strong player for the Scarlet Knight defense, and they're short by about a yard.
An interesting call for the head coach here, Charlie Weatherby.
Well, Charlie Weatherby was a quarterback at Oklahoma State. He was the starter in Oklahoma State's last victory over the Oklahoma Sooners back in 1976. 40-year-old.
Interesting here. They may try to pull him again offsides with their cadence. Rutgers got to be ready for him. This is a tough situation. A lot of pressure here on the Rutgers defense.
4th and 1. Navy will go for it from the 49 of Rutgers. McCoy, quarterback keeper, first down, Navy. He got in behind the center, Brian Drexler, and right guard Jeff Smith, and picked up first down yardage.
Once again, we're starting to see what this offense is all about. Ball control, take the clock down, get yourself field position. It's exactly what they're working on now.
Squirnavaci deployed wide to the right. Astor Heaven to the top of the screen. McGrew in motion. They'll pitch to McGrew. They get a block on the corner. McGrew turns it upfield. 5 yards and a second effort. Picked up the first down. Good block on the corner on Norris Crawford, and McGrew kept the legs driving.
The wide receivers are not just pass receivers, they are blockers. There's the fake to the fullback. Here's the second part of it. Does he keep it? No, he sees the defensive end coming down, a linebacker coming out, so he pitches it, and there's the block on number 2. As long as he doesn't get up the field, he's got a chance to be on the corner. The rest is big 225 pounds of Patrick McGrew. First down.
12-yard gain on the play. McCoy hands off to the fullback, Omar Nelson. Not much for Nelson. Rasan Giddings and Rashad Swinger on the tackle.
Here comes Brian Sheridan out. Looks like he's holding his shoulder. He might have
maybe a stinger.
A stinger is right. I think that's probably what he got there.
Second down and 8 in the meantime as Sheridan is on the sidelines. Shem in motion. They'll pitch to Corey Shem, and he'll get across the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Gil Ross up from the free safety spot to make the tackle.
The other thing that puts pressure on your defense is the fact that you're on the field so long. And you're coming off those blocks to make the hit, and they work it.
Mark Demya, number 42, the redshirt freshman from Bergenfield, a converted fullback, is in to replace Brian Sheridan. And now another Rutgers player, Rashad Swinger, came off on that last play. So Swinger, one of the starting defensive tackles, on the sidelines. 3rd and 4. McCoy rolling right. Sacked by Norris Crawford.
They took the chance that time. They got Crawford, the cornerback, up, and they let him come. And they took the kind of chances you have to take to create something against this offense. And he comes up and makes a big play on the quarterback. Never gave him a chance to either get outside to run or to throw the football. Here's a very, very impressive defensive stand by this Rutgers team.
Loss of 10 yards on the play. It takes the midshipmen out of field goal range as well, as Brian Shrub comes on the punt. He became the starting punter for Navy the last time these two teams met in 1993. And let's see. He nails it at the 8-yard line. So Rutgers will start inside their own 10-yard line. 8:21 to play in the third quarter. We're tied at 17.
He was the great tenor with the golden voice, Mario Lanza. He chose the big screen instead of the opera house. Did it lead to his tragic and mysterious death? Join host Placido Domingo for a look at the fame and the pain of Mario Lanza, the American Caruso.
Tonight at 8 here on NJN, the New Jersey Channel.
For one night, John Tesh is the entertainment. An electrifying event, an awe-inspiring setting, and a musical tribute to some of the world's greatest athletes, like Nadia Comaneci and Bart Conner. Don't miss John Tesh live at Red Rocks with the Colorado Symphony Orchestra.
Don't miss it, Monday night at 8, right here on NJN, the New Jersey channel.
Well, Terrell Willis came into the game bent on succeeding. He had 153 yards in the first half, and earlier we talked with him about coming off a tough season last year and his goals for 1995.
The worst season I ever had in my life. I mean, even though I sort of came up strong and got 1,000 yards or whatever, it was still horrible because I wasn't really focused and I wasn't playing how I should be playing, how I will be playing. You know, there was a lot of outside influence coming in, talking about leaving and all this other stuff, and I just didn't get settled in right. So it was a good learning experience this last year, and now I'm just ready to go out and have fun.
He did in the first half, Bob, the 5th longest Rutgers touchdown run for 72 yards, tying a run set by Albert Ray against William & Mary in 1980. And here's Willis trying the left side and stopped near the line of scrimmage. Joe Speed and number 41, Tom Poulter.
Speed, of course, is an experienced strong safety from Dundalk, Maryland. Last week against SMU, he had 9 solo tackles himself. But that time they closed the hole. Rutgers are going to be very careful down here. They don't want to make a mistake, but they know they've got to get some first downs and get some field position.
Ezra Johnson in at fullback. Here's Ray Lucas rolling right. Throws it away, put it up for grabs as he was about to be sacked in the end zone. Andy Person had Lucas. That was one of those. Fortunately, you don't have an in-the-grasp rule in college football, or it would have been 2 for the midshipmen.
Navy's playing a run. They just came up with about 7 people on the line of scrimmage, and they're coming. And they're putting pressure, and they did not go for the fake here, which was a bootleg action to Willis as he came out. Here comes Person right up in his face, and he does well to get rid of this football before he goes down. Dangerous, yes, but all he could do without taking a safety.
Okay, Rutgers, after Person stops that play, facing 3rd and 10 from their own 8-yard line. Lucas rolling right out to Stephen Harper. Harper gets out to the 15-yard line. That will give Rutgers punter Jared Slovin a little room to operate, but Andy Thompson was there to drive Harper out of bounds.
Tough series for the offense. They were put well back there by a Navy punt that went out on the 8-yard line, and Navy came up defensively, put pressure on him, forced him to punt, and you're right. They could get themselves in a very good situation here as far as field position goes.
Matt Scornavaci back to receive around midfield. Jared Slovin, the sophomore from Tucson. His punt is away, fielded at the 45 by Scornavaci. He gets into Rutgers territory, down to the 47-yard line.
Pressure now again goes back on the defense, which only was out for 1 series. So time-wise, play time-wise, so a lot of pressure on him.
Now taking a look at the 1994 rushing defense, Rutgers ranking 6th in the Big East.
Well, they ranked 6th because they had 2 outstanding running backs and also a quarterback that could scramble. Very interesting to see how that shapes up. You got a lot of people improving in the Big East, especially in the running game.
Well, good to see Brian Sheridan back on the field for the Scarlet Knights at the middle linebacker spot. Navy's last drive, they came up empty after 14 plays and eating 6 minutes and 35 seconds off the clock.
Sheridan is not only an experienced player as only a junior, but he is a leader out there. He's a smart player. Saw a lot of action as a freshman, as we know. And of course, came out of an excellent program at Union High School.
Well, don't forget, you can catch Rutgers football again on NJN on October 21st, 9 a.m. that Sunday morning, as we bring you the battle between the Scarlet Knights and the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And Bob, remember back a few years back, the old stadium, 50-49, Rutgers winning in the last play of the game.
One of the most exciting football games I've ever been a part of.
I would concur. Here's McCoy trying to make this one exciting. Tied 17 apiece, incomplete. This pass was intended for Matt Scornavaci.
Good inside pressure there. He didn't have a chance to pull up and really launch the ball. Interesting concept. 1st and 10, good field position. Navy comes up throwing the football.
Well, some other scores. Princeton over Cornell today. Steve Tosches with a successful Ivy League opener.
I'm sure he's glad that's out of the way.
Well, Florida State showing no mercy again. Here's McGrew in motion. They hand off, though, to the fullback, Omar Nelson, and he tries the middle of the line, picks up a couple.
You got to give a lot of credit inside to Guanera and Swinger. That time Guanera was down underneath that pile. He wasn't driven off the ball. Made it possible for the linebackers from the outside to come in and help, as well as Rusty Swartz, and held the fullback to a couple of yards. Anytime you can do that against this offense, that's excellent.
Well, the Bearcats of Cincinnati over Virginia Tech. 16-0. Big play here. 3rd and 7 for Navy. McCoy, straight drop, feels the pressure, and is brought down. There's Charles Woolridge. The initial pressure came from Sean Devlin, and then Woolridge closed in to finish off the play.
Defensively, the last 2 series, very impressive for Rutgers. Very impressive. Here it is now. A little sprint out action. Watch 87. Beat the block inside. He keeps coming. He closes down, and just when the quarterback, McCoy, was ready to make a run for it up the middle, he closed him off.
Brian Schrum on to punt. Back for Rutgers, Reggie Funderburk. And Schrum is outstanding. This one, though, bounces into the end zone about a yard or 2 away from being an excellent effort by Brian Schrum. So Rutgers will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20 when we return to Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway right after this.
This is NJN, the New Jersey Channel. WNJB, New Brunswick.
Welcome back to Piscataway. We're at Rutgers Stadium. I'm Pat Scanlon along with Bob Casciola, bringing you college football on NJN. Rutgers and Navy tied 17 apiece. Wow, Penn State, Rutgers' next opponent Saturday night at Giant Stadium, all over the Temple Owls today. And Nebraska also rolling along. A lot of big numbers today. Lucas hands off to Willis. He's got a couple of big runs in the first half, and he picks up 7 on first down before he's tripped up. Sean Andrews, the sophomore, able to spill Terrell Willis.
But they gave him a little crack that time because he got a good block from the freshman, Pete Donnelly, at guard. Gave him a hole. He cut it up inside, and it worked out well.
Arkansas, a team that lost to SMU. Duke over Army.
Last-minute field goal, though.
2-0. And Notre Dame over Vanderbilt. Bob, I know you wanted to know that score. Here's Willis breaking down the left side, trying to turn the corner. He'll step out of bounds, but pick up a first down in the meantime for the Scarlet Knights. Robert Green was there as Willis went out of bounds.
Getting back to the running game, getting back to giving the ball to the best back, one of the best backs in the country, and let him try and stop him. And build up the enthusiasm, get yourself better field position.
Funderburk comes in at a receiver spot.
Incredible when you look at the scores around the country, people putting up numbers that are astronomical. Offenses are so good.
Bill Powell, now the redshirt freshman, is wide to the right. Lucas with time, looking for Powell. Just overthrows the freshman from Rockville, Maryland. Of course, Bill Powell, Bob, seeing action because of the loss of Chris Hutton, who has that broken fibula.
That really was a post pattern. I think Powell took it a little bit too much upfield instead of breaking it more to the middle, which would have brought him back to the football a little bit more. This had to be a little bit more of a, what they say in the trade, putting a little bit more air under the ball so he could run under it. But he had him beat. Shows his speed. He's a future prospect, and now with that condition to Hutton, he's going to see a lot more action the rest of this season.
He becomes a now prospect.
Yes, sir.
2nd and 10 for Rutgers. The one back is Willis. And now hand off to Terrell. Willis hit by Joe Speed after a gain of about 2.
As I mentioned earlier, number 13 Speed, excellent tackler from the strong safety position, good size at 6'1", 195 pounds, and that was a good hit on a great back in the open field, keeping him to a couple of yards.
Well, offensive coordinator Stan Parrish of Rutgers told us that Bill Powell is big and tall and graceful, a lot like Hutton. And so only Stephen Harper is faster on the team. So Bill Powell now is in at receiver on 3rd and 8. Lucas with the straight drop. Gets it off to Battaglia. The tight end hauls it down. Flag on the play. And Marco comes up short of first down yardage as he's brought down by Tom Poulter.
You're going to get a flag here because I think the block was thrown downfield beforehand, and that's what we're going to get him. Some illegal block downfield. Let's see what the official calls it.
Gil Gelbke. Holding on the defense, or offense, rather.
Well, the Navy will probably say no to that because they've got him in a 3rd and long, make it 4th and long, and they'll have a kick.
They do decline, Bob. It is 4th down. So the Rutgers offense is derailed again.
Rutgers offense this quarter has not had very good field position. They've got to be able to overcome that, get the ball moved upfield. Here, though, they're going to have to punt, give it back to Navy.
Jared Slovin again back to punt. Flag on the line of scrimmage.
There's a clip right there and a hold.
Squinavachi on the 19 returns it to the 25-yard line. But let's see. Flag on the line of scrimmage.
Mistakes now. They were mistake prone the first half. Now they're starting to make mistakes. Penalties. That can only add to disaster. So you've got to be aware of it.
Navy will decline and take over at their 25-yard line. We have lost referee Gil Gelbke's microphone, but
Mark Washington is in the football game. As we know, he was hurt. He was the leader, the All-East performer. He's now in at safety position.
Washington, who had suffered a thigh bruise. And it will be Washington playing that free safety spot. Shem goes in motion. McCoy gets on the court, tried to pitch. Loose ball. Let's see who's got it. Chris McCoy almost tossed it to the Rutgers defender. Corey Shem may have worked his way to recover the ball. Rutgers recovers.
That's the break they've been looking for. That's the kind of thing they had to force, and that time they did an excellent job of staying with the quarterback. After he rode the fullback in and pulled it out late, they tracked him down from the backside to cause that fumble as he tried to make the pitch. Big play. The defense has come alive here in the 3rd quarter for Rutgers. Now it's the offense's chance to put something on the board for them.
So the Scarlet Knights forced the turnover. McCoy working his way on the left side, Bob.
Here it is from ground level. There's the trailer from the backside. Here he comes down. Another great play by
Woolridge.
Woolridge, who made the tackle and forced the fumble because he had his hands on the quarterback.
I think Charles Woolridge also got the recovery. Now Navy just gangs up on the right side. The Scarlet Knights, Terrell Willis, no place to run, a wall of white.
Trying to run back away from the field into the sideline that time, but Navy playing for the run on early down here, gambling on the run, was stacked against the offense to never give Willis a chance to make any real break or any opening.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Lucas from the shotgun. Lucas goes to Powell, and Powell was wide open. He was signaling for the ball earlier, and then when it did come his way, got a little over anxious and couldn't hang on. While Mark Hammond was in the face of Rutgers quarterback Ray Lucas.
That's going to happen. You're going to have that. That's an inexperienced player caught in a situation that maybe couldn't make that play. But you don't have any choice in the matter. The ball was there. You should have caught it.
Key 3rd down for the Scarlet Knights, tied 17 apiece, 3:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Rutgers now 3 and 9 on 3rd down conversions. Harper and Powell split to the right. And the Scarlet Knights will spend a timeout. And so we'll take a break. 3:20 left in the 3rd quarter, tied at 17, but Ray Lucas trying to guide the Knights toward the end zone.
Family secrets. They can bring us together. They can tear us apart.
And when our families are filled with no talk and secrecy, we simply can't grow and be free and become the people we were meant to be.
John Bradshaw has helped millions create healthy, loving new lives. For everyone who's lived in a family, watch John Bradshaw on Family Secrets.
Today at 1, right here on NJN, the New Jersey Channel.
Welcome back. Rutgers and Navy tied 17 apiece. Marco Battaglia about 4 catches for 41 yards, but
lost in the offense. I can't understand why he's not a bigger part of it. Presley's in the backfield too at this game.
And Ray Lucas on 3rd down and 8, looking for who else? Marco Battaglia for the touchdown. You called it, Bob.
It's about time. You got to remember who this kid is. He's a great football player. That was a tremendous pass on the part of Ray Lucas. But what concentration on the part of Battaglia to stay with that ball and make the catch. You just can't forget about him. And they came back to him at the right time.
The preseason All-America tight end from Queens, New York, at his St. Francis prep, hooks up with Ray Lucas. The 25-yard touchdown score. And now Nick Mickemeyer from Cherry Hill East High School will try to tack on the extra point. Out of the hold of Robert Higgins, it's up, it's good. And the Scarlet Knights have jumped ahead 24-17.
That's an impressive drive, Pat. The defense has done the job in the 3rd quarter. Battaglia and the offense finally came alive and found the right guy in their offense to go to in the critical situation. Here it is again. Out of the shotgun formation, Battaglia lined up on the right side, just runs deep middle pattern and concentrates on the football. As number 13, Joe Speed, the safety man, just is a step behind him. Does an excellent job of looking over his shoulder and making the catch. Give credit to Ray Lucas for putting the ball where he had to.
All right, Marco Battaglia, called by some the #1 tight end in college football. We spoke with him about that subject.
Well, what went through my mind when it happened was, wow, this is unbelievable. But right after that, it's just got to, it's all new to me. I don't consider myself a star. I consider Taro, Bruce, Ray, they're the stars on the team. After I block, I like to watch them run. I'll be honest with you.
Marco Battaglia is said to be the top tight end prospect in the NFL draft by ESPN's Mel Kiper.
Well, he's done it. He's had a great career here, and they need him to. They're going to do anything this season. They're going to need him in the offense, and I'm sure they're going to be looking for him more and more. Seasoned and also an accomplished performer. You got to look for that talent. They did.
It's quite a talent holding a cup on your chin without any hands. Joe Kikowski getting ready to kick off. Matt Squirnavachi waiting at the 5-yard line. 3:15 left in the 3rd quarter. Rutgers back up by a touchdown. Squirnavachi from the 10. He is upended at the 17-yard line. Aaron Brady, the freshman from Hanover, Pennsylvania.
Remember, we talk about what special teams can do to create the enthusiasm. But watch 11 break down from the left side. He comes through, and he just has a great shot on him and does what he's supposed to do. And that's it's a big hit and puts him in a long way from that end zone. Now the Rutgers defense has got to once again come up with some big plays.
Well, Rich Rachel, the coach of the special teams, has had his unit show a big improvement over last year. Here's McCoy running right. He keeps and is tackled at the 20-yard line after a gain of 2.
Following that play down was number 57, Rashawn Giddings. He came back from the backside, trailed the quarterback, and that's really hustle. And he came down and made the play. Now remember, in this offense, we haven't seen it yet, they run counter option. They may very well set that up and come back against the grain and go to the open field. There's Rick Rachel, who's done a fine job with these special teams for Rutgers the last couple of years.
McGrew in motion. McCoy keeps and is dropped for a loss. Sheridan was there. So was Mark Washington.
And what you're seeing, Pat, is an attacking defense. They're not sitting back and reading. They're attacking the football, and they're starting to make big plays. They're getting penetration. You get penetration against an option offense, they're in trouble. Look at the depth the quarterback is in. Look at all those red shirts coming to the football. You can't even pitch it. Good job.
Mark Washington playing with that thigh bruise. Up to assist Brian Sheridan. 3rd down and 9. Navy 5 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. McCoy. Incomplete, intended for Corey Shem. Broken up by the Rutgers defense. Charles Wiley, a freshman from Hyattsville, Maryland.
They got to use freshmen because they got injuries, and here he comes, the extra back in the backfield. He's looking for the guy who's always been there for him tonight, Scornavaccia. He's there, but watch the hit, the timing of it, great play, and that makes the difference. And again, the Rutgers defense turning the ball back here with the possibility of getting field position.
Ryan Schrump standing at his own 5-yard line.
Get up and feel that ball.
Funderburk from the 43. Tries to get outside and is lassoed. The tackle made by number 58 of Navy. That's Jason Coffey out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Good coverage by Navy. They never gave Funderburk a chance to get on the outside wall. But again, Rutgers in good shape here. The ball up over their 40-yard line. And again, the Navy defense has been out there a little bit. It's been an exciting football game. A lot of great plays on both sides of the football by offense and defense of both squads.
The 3rd largest crowd in Rutgers history witnessing this game, the season opener in 1995. Lucas pitch to Willis. Willis with some real estate. Brought down on the 48 by Clint Bruce after a gain of 5 yards.
That time they came with 2 backs in the offense. They brought number 48, Ezra Johnson, the fullback, in there to block for Willis. He got a block in the corner and permitted Willis to cut it inside and pick up 5 yards.
33,820 on hand tonight. 3rd largest crowd in Rutgers history. We hope you're enjoying it as well at home. Willis, the 1-back. He'll bobble the handoff from Lucas. And this is where Willis can be dangerous. Here comes Willis. Avoids 1 tackle, bounces into Navy territory, close to a 1st down. Bob, he must have run about 30 yards on the play.
They got to get somebody in there to give him a breather now, and they're going to do that with Presley, but that was transcontinental. Here it is here. He just never gets the ball. I think really the ball was too high for him to handle by the quarterback, but the ball bounces up for him. He's fortunate, but look at him break that tackle, reverses field, gets a little bit of a block here from his quarterback, Lucas, to give him a chance to get back on the corner, and then breaks that tackle down by 21, Robert Green, the cornerback. They're in a
3rd and 1 now.
Power I set. Try and get this 1st down.
Here's Bruce Presley. First down, Rutgers.
Nice to see Presley in the lineup, getting a chance to get just a little touch of contact. He's been hurt, as we know.
Willis now 24 carries, 178 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons as a freshman and sophomore by the young man from Orange, New Jersey. Now here's Bruce Presley, the senior out of Highland Park. Presley, the Big East Rookie of the Year as a freshman. He'll operate from a one-back set. Double tight ends for the Scarlet Knights. Presley behind the block of Pete Donnelly. Picks up 3-4 yards. Fernando Harris brings Bruce Presley down as time is expiring here in the third quarter. Rutgers put the only touchdown of the quarter on the board. Ray Lucas to Marco Battaglia. And so as the third quarter expires, the Scarlet Knights lead the Midshipmen of Navy 24-17. We'll be right back.
Telecourse has worked great for me because of my situation, because of my physical limitations.
When they finally said to me, well, we don't see how you can go to school, I said, oh, but I do. And that's when I decided that telecourses was probably the best way for me to get back into school and maybe even get my total degree in it.
Finish your degree? Of course you can. And you don't even have to leave home. Call 609-777-5075 to find out how.
Welcome back. I'm Pat Scanlon along with Bob Cassiola as we begin the fourth quarter here in Piscataway. Rutgers leading Navy 24-17. 2nd and 8 for Ray Lucas and company. Willis back at running back. Here's Willis spinning out to the 40-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play before he's brought down by Clint Bruce.
Nice run and heavy going there by Terrell Willis. He picks himself up about 3 or 4 yards. Comes down to a 3rd and 5 play here.
So they've got to keep it going here and keep the ball moving. Fourth quarter, key time for the Scarlet Knights. They're going to send Harper and Powell wide to the left.
Blitz.
Funderburg to the right. Funderburg's the hot receiver, but it's intercepted. Intercepted by Navy.
Now you got a penalty flag down. They gave him an interception on that.
Sean Andrews. Wow. Let's see.
They came with the blitz. They came inside and they manned up on the receivers, and it was a great job by the defender.
And you saw Charlie Weatherby say decline the penalty.
Watch it here. Here comes the blitz. 2 inside linebackers and the outside cornerback coming. There's the hot
illegal
receiver.
Formation on the offense. The penalty will be declined. First down on defense.
It is a great interception. He took it away from him.
Sean
great
Andrews
job.
From Orange Park, Florida, just wrestled it away from Reggie Funderburg.
He had 2 interceptions last week in the game against SMU. Big play.
It was the Division 1A Rookie of the Week. Moved from wide receiver to cornerback. Well, he looked like a wide receiver on that play, Bob.
Excellent.
1st and 10 now for McCoy. He'll pitch it back to Neil Plaskanos. Plaskanos wants to throw it.
Oh, the official got in the way.
The official got in the way of Derek Ward. It was a dying quail by Neil Plaskanos. Ward would have had a good chance to intercept.
And that official is very embarrassed, believe me. But anyway, here's a pretty good execution. Reverse action, and he's thrown this quail, as you described it. That's pretty appropriate. And that could have easily been intercepted. Well, 2nd and long.
Intended for Corey Shem, number 20. McCoy, quick look to Matt Scornavacci. First down, Scornavacci out to near midfield.
Really a big cushion out there by the cornerback that time. Chadwick, and they just took advantage of him. This guy, Cornovacci, is a very clever receiver. He's got very quick feet, very sure hands. He's a veteran, as we called it. And he comes back to the football and makes the catch and continues to drive. And now Navy trying to turn this interception into an opportunity to get back on the board.
Double receivers to the left. Plascanos. As McGrew goes in motion, they'll hand off to fullback Omar Nelson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage. There's Rudy Smith, along with Rasan Giddings, trying to lead the crowd and keep them into this one.
They're playing tough in the middle. They've really cut the fullback off in this offense. And that's been a big factor in the second half, that Navy really has not threatened them running the football.
2nd and 9. McCoy pitches to Patrick McGrew. And the big slot back gets down to the Rutgers 45. Give Navy 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 coming up.
3rd and 5 going into the 4th down area, 4 zone area for them. They don't have any problems with that. But that was a good play by the Rutgers defense. They came to the football, and McGrew, as we've seen, is not the easiest guy to bring down in the open field because he's only 5'11", but 225 pounds. It doesn't give you much to tackle.
Crowd getting loud here at Rutgers Stadium. McCoy, quick drop to Scornovacci, incomplete. Great coverage. Cameron Chadwick was coming, and I think Scornovacci heard him coming.
I think you're right. He looked out and peeked for him. Either that or he thought he was going to catch it and beat him up the sideline, but he didn't come up with it. Here's the play. Little hitch pattern in the flat. He just comes down and stops, and there's the football. But it's 4th down, and they're trying to make a decision on the sideline. It looks like they're going to go for it. There's a critical call for Navy right here. But you know, they're a new staff, a new team. They'll take chances, but now they've decided elsewhere. Perhaps put them in deep trouble by getting the punt down, perhaps inside the 10-yard line. Very important here now for Funderburk to either field this ball, not let it bounce in front of him.
And time expires on Navy, so they'll back up 5 more yards, and that'll give Brian Schrum a little more room to work with as he tries to delay game on the offense. So he'll have 5 more yards to work with as he tries to nail it inside the 20-yard line. Midshipmen with Wake Forest coming up. Good schedule. They'll be playing at Notre Dame on November the 4th. At Army, of course, the Army-Navy game
at
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. That'll be interesting to see how this offense matches up against the Army defense. Army with the wishbone, Navy with the wing bone. Brian Schrum has done a good job of punting for the Midshipmen tonight. And he gets another good one away, but this one may kick into the end zone. Yes, it did, just barely. Navy trying to down it inside the 5. Andy Thompson couldn't get to it in time. We'll take a break. 12:43 left in this one. Rutgers holding a 7-point lead. Well, a big series coming up for Stan Parrish and his Rutgers offense. There's the offensive coordinator. Scarlet Knights lead by a touchdown. Bob Cassiola, the telestrator par excellence. Now Ray Lucas taking over from his own 20-yard line. They'll give to Willis. Willis looking for a block. Takes his time and picks up 4 or 5 yards on first down before Andy Person comes up to make a play.
That's good running. He's looking for a seam. He's just trying to keep the ball, get upfield, and he picks up close to 5 yards. That's what they need. They need first downs here and better field position.
I mean, you talk about Willis tonight, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last year as a sophomore, it seemed like every time he touched the ball, he tried too hard to make something happen. There's a play where the maturity shows as he waited for the seam. He'll get another chance. Willis spins away, picks up a tough yard.
They're filling very quickly on the outside. They're taking chances. They're gambling on him running the football. That's when you got to come up off a little play action and try and hurt him with the pass. Sooner or later they will. Here he is taking the ball. This is just a stretch play. He's looking for a seam. There's number 63, Matt Brown, out in front of him. They fill very quickly. The linebackers come up and the cornerbacks. Remember, they've got 5 defensive backs in the game. They move them around up on off the line of scrimmage. This is a passing down for Rutgers right here.
From the shotgun, Lucas. They throw to Battaglia. Battaglia barrels ahead, picks up the first down. Kevin Lewis was trying to ride Marco Battaglia down, but Marco, the big tight end, with second effort, gets the first down.
This is a little screen to the tight end inside. He just lets him come. He slips off, and they dump him the football. Good call by Stan Parrish. Good execution. And Battaglia, the big tight end, at 240, is looking to get to the first down markers and cross it, and he did, and they continue the drive.
Funderburk and Harper, the wide receivers for Rutgers. Ezra Johnson now in at fullback. Lucas downfield, and a mix-up on the pattern. Only Rutgers receiver in the vicinity was Stephen Harper. He cut it inside.
They came off a first down. Navy's been playing the run hard, forcing that time. They came a little play action, tried to do one receiver deep. The fastest receiver on the team, Steve Harper, but Navy had it well covered. Besides, I think Ray Lucas saw it was and just threw it away.
14 at 24, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for Ray Lucas. And in fact, Lucas now breaking a tie with former Rutgers quarterback Rich Policastro, moving into second all-time with his 30th career touchdown pass. There's a flag thrown into the middle of the line of scrimmage as Willis fights to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
You're going to get a holding call right away here. Threw it in the vicinity of number 77, Robert Barr, and Pete Donnelly. Which one
holding
he calls him for?
On the offense.
That's a tough call. It pushes him back another 10 yards, puts him in second and real long. In this situation, Navy has taken chances, has come after the quarterback. As you look down at Doug Graber, he doesn't want that. It gives him tough field position besides.
So now that'll back him up back to the 25-yard line.
Got to be very careful in these situations as a quarterback. No mistakes. Don't throw it up for grabs.
Third, I think it's 2nd and 19. Harper coming in motion. Willis straight ahead. Clint Bruce had some help in the middle along with Andy Person. And Navy stops that play cold.
Well, it's an obvious passing down. Rutgers decided maybe to run the ball inside and catch him. Navy played it well. You can't complain. You can't throw the ball every time. And you got to try and make those plays once in a while. But Navy defensively, very quick, filling with those linebackers, stopped Terrell Willis.
In the penalty category, Rutgers 8 penalties, 61 yards. Navy 3 for 25 yards. Shotgun for Lucas on 3rd down. Looking downfield for Harper. Stephen Harper, a spectacular catch. It may have been deflected. And Lucas holding the toe back there. May have a little cramp, but it's a 32-yard reception and a first down.
And the mistake was by the free safety. Alota tried to make a play on the football and came up inside. But what concentration by Harper. And that's why they think he's a good one, because he's got depth. Ray Lucas sets up, and with pressure right in his face, he delivers the football. Look at Alota go to the football a little early and cut it off short, and the ball was beyond him. So poor judgment by Alota, great reception by Harper.
And it looked like Stephen Harper lost the handle on that ball as he spun over. The ball was not deflected, by the way, but it's a completion at the Navy 45-yard line. And now Rutgers calls a timeout with 9:27 left here in the 4th quarter. Stephen Harper, who runs a 4.3640. It was a long jump and 400-meter champion at Atlantic City High School. And now his abilities will be called upon along with Bill Powell and Reggie Funderburk after the Knights lost sophomore wide receiver Chris Hutton late in the first half.
And also Ray Lucas took a shot on that play. He needs a little breather. Calm him down, give him a chance to gather himself and keep this drive alive. Good call. Rutgers, with 9:27 left in the fourth period, has one timeout remaining.
Well, Texas pinning the first loss of the year on Johnny Majors and the Pitt Panthers. Penn State, Rutgers will play the Nittany Lions at 7:30 next Saturday night at Giants Stadium. I know an advance sale of over 60,000 tickets already. Should be a good one at the Meadowlands. And of course, we invite you to tune in this Thursday night at 6:30 for the Doug Graber Show. As we'll be talking with the head coach about those Nittany Lions, as well as recapping the Navy contest. It's every Thursday night on NJN, the Doug Graber Show. Ray Lucas hopes that Doug's talking about a victory, their first of the season. As he looks at 1st and 10 from the Navy 45-yard line. Willis straight ahead. Picks up a tough yard, 44, J.D. McBride. He had an interception, which he returned for 15 yards against SMU last week.
Navy tough on defense this second half against the run because they're coming up and playing 6 men on the ball, taking their chances. Rutgers, of course, could put it up early. They tried it in the last series, but why do it? They got the possession here. They're trying to take the clock down a little bit and get better field position.
McBride, one of the linebackers, trying to stuff the run. Here's 2nd and 9. Lucas rolling right. Throws to Funderburk. Complete to Reggie Funderburk. About 2 yards shy of the first down.
They were shotgun that time, but they took Ray Lucas and let him sprint a little bit to the wide side of the field, get away from any potential rush, and he threw the ball with authority, and Reggie comes back. As you see him here, he sprints to the right side, and he really puts something on this ball. Funderburk comes back to catch it, which good receivers do, and makes the catch right there. Good possession catch on the part of the receiver.
3rd and 2, the power I. Robert Seeger and Ezra Johnson in at fullback with Bruce Presley at the tailback. And Bruce Presley
depends on when he marks it.
Let's see, to the 35, Bob.
It's going to be close. It's going to be very close.
Bruce Presley, who has over 2,000 yards rushing in his career, stopped by McBride and Lewis. Hard to believe, Bob. Presley hasn't scored a touchdown since 1993. That was 17 games ago.
You got to remember he's had his share of injuries too, so he's missed some time. It's going to be a very close measurement, very important one for Rutgers here and Navy. And he got it. There it is. Whoops.
Well, it stretched those chains out, guys. Wait a minute.
Stretched
it. Bruce Presley does his job. Didn't want it to be that close.
Well, it's a first down with 8 minutes on the clock.
Clock's moving.
Fullback Ezra Johnson back in the fullback position, usually in there to block.
They call this their Orange Pride backfield. Both Johnson and Willis from Orange High School. Willis slips up a little bit as he tried to stand up and make a cut. Clint Bruce makes the stop, but not before Terrell picks up 3, maybe 4 yards.
He's running carefully, but he's looking for his hold, and he's holding on to that football. Most important here. You got to remember, too, they're getting closer and closer for Mickameyer and field goal range, too, if they need it.
Rutgers now goes with a double tight end set. Battaglia and Dan Latour are in. Hand off. Willis tries to bounce outside. Clint Bruce drops him for a loss. Clint Bruce, the junior from Garland, Texas, started 8 games as a sophomore and made 77 tackles. And he's been active tonight.
Very active. 7 tackles last week against SMU. They came up and stopped this play. Watch this. This is the counter tray, and they can't get inside and they can't break it outside because 51 Bruce, the junior, comes up and makes the hit in the open field. So it's a 3rd down again. 3rd down and 9 for Rutgers.
Willis, the one back. Funderburk, Harper, and Powell, the receivers. Here's Powell. Tries to get to the sticks. And he, too, is very close. Bill Powell, as Clint Bruce knocked him out of bounds. It's going to be, well, Ray Lucas says about 6 inches.
I think he is short, but that was a great effort by that young guy, Powell, to try and find the sticks. Great quickness on his part. Watch this pass. I'm surprised at this call. Here's the call. Here he is. He breaks to the outside. Good balance, and then just dives and just goes out of bounds.
Now they're going to bring the field goal kicker, Nick Mickemeyer, the junior from Cherry Hill East, onto the field. Robert Higgins will hold the backup quarterback. A 43-yard attempt. It's up. It's good. So Nick Mickemeyer answers the call, his 2nd field goal of the night. And Rutgers builds its lead to 10 with 6:13 remaining.
You got to remember that Mickmeyer's father was one great kicker at Temple and in the pros also. So he's got a history of it. He's been taught and trained well, and that's a big kick for that young kicker, for Rutgers and for him personally in his future here.
The walk-on puts it through the uprights for 3. We'll take a break. Rutgers leading 27-17. Well, now Joe Kukowski will come on to kick off for the Scarlet Knights. It's Doug Graber and company. Nursing a 10-point lead with 6:13 left. And Kukowski's kickoff sails over the sideline for the 2nd time tonight. So Navy will have the option of taking over at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Doug Graber's not happy about that at all. It's 2 times he's done that. So Rutgers defensively, that's the story of the 2nd half. They've done a terrific job of shutting off this Navy offense. Now they've got 6 minutes and 13 seconds to do it again.
Well, Doug's got the hat off. He's talking to himself a little bit after seeing that kickoff go out of bounds. And we'll talk with Doug this Thursday night at 6:30 here on NJN for the Doug Graber Show. All right, Navy now, 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for quarterback Chris McCoy. McGrew goes in motion. Flags on the play.
It looks to me like the offense that time moved quickly. One of the few times he went on a fast count that time, and he might have caught himself. Caught his offensive team not ready for it.
False start on the Navy offense will back them up 5 yards.
Illegal procedure against Navy.
A guy who's come alive in this game, Pat, defensively has been Woolridge for Rutgers. He's really done a job from his defensive end position. Very quick, very effective. Has played extremely well. You're going to see more of him this season, that's for sure.
McCoy, they set up the screen to the fullback Nelson. Nelson knocked out of bounds by Rasan Giddings. And then a flag along the sideline.
It's a late hit out of bounds. Rutgers going to be penalized. Here they had him in great shape, and they make a mistake like that. That's the kind of thing that loses you football games.
Dead ball foul on the Scarlet Knights. Let's take a look at it, Bob.
There it is, out of bounds. There it is right here. Let's see if we follow it. If we follow it all the way out of bounds. That's a pretty close call.
Yep.
I think the bench affected the official on that. The kid was on the sideline when he hit him. I would question that call.
It's a midshipman at midfield. Handoff to Nelson. He picks up 3 yards on first down, and suddenly Navy, after a couple of plays, is in Rutgers territory with 5:54 left.
But you got to be ready. You got to be sitting back there in the secondary and not bite on too many run fakes here, because they got to come up with a big play. They're either going to try some trick play or something where they're going to put the ball up and try and go deep. He's been looking for Skornavaccia all night as his kind of favorite receiver.
Instead, they hand off to the fullback Omar Nelson.
You know, coming into this game, we know that the defensive coordinator, John Gutekunst of Rutgers, was confident about playing defense against this system because Gutekunst ran the triple option when he coached at the University of Minnesota, head coach there, so he felt he should know how to defend it. And that's what there's John standing right here as the guy who's been calling these plays and doing an excellent job in the second half of getting his defense into the football game, creating a lot of problems for Navy.
On 3rd and 5, McCoy, feeling the pressure, is brought down behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 7. Sean Devlin from the defensive tackle spot.
Good job by the defense again. Here's your penetration. They get in. Here we go. Watch the pressure. People beat the seams and get up in his face, not give him a chance to throw this football. Excellent job here as he tries to duck away. There's 59 making the hit, Rusty Schwartz. Now with 4:31, you think maybe they'd go for it, figuring they may not get the ball back, but Charlie Weatherby decides he's going to punt this football. Very interesting decision.
Ryan Schrum back at the 35-yard line. Gets it away. Funderburk elects not to field it, and oh, this is beauty. Inside the 5-yard line at about the 3, so Brian Schrum, after a couple of close opportunities, nails a 48-yard punt inside the Scarlet 5.
A great punt, but don't criticize Funderburk, not that you did, but because all these guys are taught the same thing. If the ball is inside the 10-yard line, you let it go. You try and fake them with a waving of the hand, but you don't field the ball inside the 10-yard line. That time the bounce stopped for him, and it was a great punt by the Navy punter.
In fact, Bob, Funderburk did field a ball inside the 10 last week and heard it from the coaching staff. And Doug Graber said it's a rule. You don't try to field the ball inside the 10-yard line. So you're absolutely right, but it was a great punt by Schrum. So now Lucas finds himself operating at 1st and 10 from his own 3-yard line.
Key here is hold on to the football. Navy with 3 timeouts may start utilizing those timeouts, having Rutgers deep in their own territory.
Here's Willis. 3 tight ends in. Curry was in a slot position. Flag on the play as Fernando Harris brings down Terrell Willis.
It's going to go against Rutgers. It's probably another hold.
Holding on the offense.
Tough calls. Tough penalty down in here. Half the distance of the goal line. Good running by Terrell Willis there to get out, make some very important yardage in a tough situation.
4:04 left. Lucas looks to the sidelines for the call. Have to be very careful here. They'll continue with 3 tight ends. Curry, Latour, and Battaglia. Lucas hands off to Willis. Willis driven back into the end zone. Of course, forward progress will mark him at the 2, and it looks like Navy. Will they call timeout?
Very late reaction by the officials to that timeout, let me tell you.
And Charlie Weatherby agrees with your assessment. He was not happy about that.
He's going to go over and tell him that right now.
About 4 or 5 seconds.
If he goes down too far, they should throw a flag on him right here. He doesn't belong out of that.
Weatherby is going to instruct Clint Bruce to go out there and ask him why the timeout was not called quicker. Meanwhile, Ray Lucas will get a chance to regroup with Doug Graver looking at 2nd and 11, the ball on the Rutgers 2-yard line.
What they've got to do is get enough field position here to give their punter a chance if they're forced to punt from this deep position. Of course, Navy's gambling. They're not going to put the ball up, which is highly likely, very likely rather. And if that's the case, they're going to be up there with probably 11 men close to the line of scrimmage. There's Weatherby.
Charlie Weatherby, 40 years old. Head coach previously at Utah State. He took them to the Las Vegas Bowl, Bob.
Oh, yeah, he's an enthusiastic guy, and I was told that when he interviewed for this job, there was no question he was the guy. He's also, you mentioned how he played quarterback and played for Oklahoma State. He went on to a rather long career playing in Canada with the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Ottawa. It lasted a good 6-7 years.
Okay, Rutgers is going to go with that power I formation. Bruce Presley is at tailback. Hand off to Presley, and Bruce shows a burst. Bruce Presley out to the 30-yard line, a 28-yard burst for the senior from Highland Park.
And that's what fresh legs and a back like Presley can do for you. He's gotten a chance today, and that's the big play for him. He bursted through the hole and really got it. Watch this play here. Let's watch the blocking up front. Good job by number 51 for Rutgers, their offensive center, Pat Gorman. Gives him enough of a seam in there, and then he just breaks it, and he stays north-south and really runs well. Important for Bruce Presley to make those kind of plays. He needs it physically coming off an injury.
They ran right at linebacker Clint Bruce. Here's Presley again. Bruce Presley. Ooh. First down and more. And Andy Thompson paid a price for getting in Presley's way. And now Bruce gets up a little gingerly. He had that high ankle sprain in preseason practice.
There he is, running up inside. Good blocking up front again by the center, Gorman. The right tackle, Pete Donnelly. Give him a seam, and he picks up another first down.
Rutgers out now to the 43. The drive began on their own 3-yard line. Willis, not much room there as he goes left. Picks up a couple yards, and Navy calls timeout. J.D. McBride making the stop. So while there's 2:38 left on the clock, timeout Navy will take a break as well. Charlie Weatherby trying to fire up the troops.
For one night, John Tesh is the entertainment. An electrifying event, an awe-inspiring setting, and a musical tribute to some of the world's greatest athletes, like Nadia Comaneci and Bart Conner. Don't miss John Tesh live at Red Rocks with the Colorado Symphony Orchestra.
Don't miss it, Monday night at 8, right here on NJN, the New Jersey channel.
2:38 left in this one. Rutgers trying to maintain possession, eat up the clock, leading 27-17. Ezra Johnson in motion. No pitch to Terrell Willis. Willis gets into Navy territory down to the 48-yard line.
That's a good job. They tighten the formation, got the fullback in motion to get him on the corner, and just let him run on the corner, get away from all that inside pressure that Navy's been pulling. Good running by Terrell Willis. At a 3rd and short yardage, they bring Bruce Presley back into the game.
Well, that is the theme for these 1995 Knights. No excuses.
Well, they could have easily cracked tonight. The second half, they came in out after being tied by Navy with a field goal just before the half. But the difference in this ball game has been their defense. Their defense rose to the occasion the second half and shut off this Navy attack.
Presley back in the ball game. Doug Graber deploying Presley as a 3rd down back, and he's picked up the tough yardage and another first down before Travis Cooley stops him It is the Rutgers offense that is controlling the ball and working the clock as the late stages of the fourth quarter begin to wind down. We talked about the fact that Rutgers lost the opener at Duke, could not afford to drop to 0-2. With Penn State coming up next week at Giant Stadium, it looks like Doug Graber and the Knights have righted the ship.
Well, it was such an important victory for them to have tonight, and they did it the right way. They came back in the second half and dominated play.
1st and 10. Movement on the right side of the scrimmage from the Scarlet Knights. The side of Pete Donnelly and Robert Barr. That will stop the clock with 1:15 left.
The other thing to be said here is that Rutgers, without making excuses, has had to play a lot of people because of injuries, a lot of young players. We've noted that. And those young players rose to the occasion tonight. They got a lot of great play when you consider Gil Ross, only a freshman, coming in at free safety. We mentioned Woolridge coming in at the defensive end position. The big plays he's made. And, of course, steady play from their linebacker core, led by Brian Sheridan and Rashawn Giddings. And up front, Rudy Smith and Rusty Swartz and James Guarnera, Rashad Swinger, all played very tough on defense tonight.
And up to Presley. He is met in the backfield by J.D. McBride. And Navy will spend its final timeout. While we have a chance, I'd like to thank our spotter tonight, Bill Friel, our statisticians, Mark Rossman and Rich Freesia. As always, Mr. Friel doing a fine job.
We got some great shots tonight. The camera crew has really done a terrific job. We've got some terrific shots of a lot of things that occurred here. It's a very exciting football game.
And of course, the junior from Orange, New Jersey, Terrell Willis, gave us some excitement as well. 34 carries, 205 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Charlie Weatherby experienced his first victory as the 37th head coach at Navy against SMU. Now about to experience his first loss as head coach of the Midshipmen. And of course, now Graber and the Scarlet Knights getting a victory, not without its costs, losing sophomore wide receiver Chris Hutton with a broken left fibula. Of course, you know, Scarlet Knights with 3 games before they open up in the Big East. They'll be hosting Syracuse here in late September. Here's Lucas handing off to Presley. Presley out to midfield on 2nd down. And now the clock will continue to move.
Let this clock run down now. It's an important victory for Rutgers, and before a good crowd, enthusiastic crowd, who saw a lot of exciting plays. As far as Navy goes, I think they're going to be an interesting football team. If they can stay healthy, they're going to create problems for people, especially those that take them lightly, because they can move the football. And they're very excited about playing for this new coaching staff, and they'll create some problems along the way.
This will probably be the last snap for the Scarlet Knights. They shut down Bruce Presley in the backfield. Number 57 is Andy Person from Havertown, Pennsylvania. And now the clock will wind down. And the Scarlet Knights will come off the field with their first victory of 1995. That'll do it. The Scarlet Knights score a victory for Doug Graber and company, 27-17 over Navy. Terrell Willis, his 10th career 100-yard game in just 24 career outings. He helps defeat Charlie Weatherby and the Midshipmen of Navy. Scarlet Knights now 1-1. Navy also 1-1. And Rutgers will be back at it next Saturday night, 7:30 Giant Stadium, as they take on Joe Paterno and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Again, the final score, Rutgers 27, Navy 17. For Bob Cassiola, I'm Pat Scanlon. So long, everybody.